Oh, yeah. That's the pose, man. That's the pose.
That's the pose, man.
That's it.
Yeah, this one too, right? This one too. Yeah. Oh yeah. I should have done that. Right.
There you go. That's the classic. Yes.
What is going
on? We have in the house. He has returned. He has retained. That's right. To the Movie Dojo on the Verbal Nectar podcast. The master of remaster, Frank Djeng, in the house. That's right.
The D is silent.
That's right. The D is silent. Yes. It's
you have no idea how much Django helped me. Tarantino's film helped me. Like once that film came out, where Jamie Foxx saying the D is silent, right? In the movie,
right.
Nobody has ever mispronounced my last name ever again. I'm serious.
Right.
After that film, yeah.
So. All right. I'm surprised I haven't fucked it up.
No,
Watch, I'll mess it up by the end of the video. That's the point, because I'm horrible with names. But luckily, I have the legend here to help me out with any names I botch later in our discussion. But yes, it is an honor to have you here, my friend, by yourself. No Rick. That's right. Rick butting in,
Mm-hmm. No Rick cutting me off. No Rick shaking his head. No Rick shaking his head when I talk, right? No, none of that shit.
We love Rick. Shout out to Rick.
Oh yeah, we love Rick.
But yeah, it's great to have you here, and we're gonna get into it with you and how you got involved with Tai Seng Entertainment and all that stuff. But for a long time, and I was just talking about this yesterday, which is kind of interesting on my live Q&A. But for a long time, we suffered here in America. We
still suffering.
Suffered. Okay,
Yeah.
We could not just go to Kmart. Hey, you guys got Drunken Master 2 here? Do you have it? Do you have Armor of God here? Kmart? You're not gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? So it was bootlegs, conventions, tape trading. I mean, we had to do what we had to do to try to find
Pan and scan.
Yeah,
Pan and scan is the worst, man.
Oh yeah, full screen,
full dubbing.
I have a horrible pan and scan story, so it's funny, but I got to make fun of myself. It's fun here, but whatchamacallit. So I wasn't hip to widescreen yet, right? Because I was an idiot. So I went and bought Braveheart. I went to Best Buy, bought Braveheart, double VHS, right? Right, back in the day.
What?
Didn't have DVD yet. Stood in line to buy Braveheart. I loved it in the theater. I couldn't wait to watch it. Stood in line to buy Braveheart, and then I looked down and I saw widescreen. The evil word. I was like, oh. Bleh, bleh.
Oh yeah, that's what one of my old library coworkers said. She said, "I hate those black bars."
Yeah. I paid for a 65-inch TV and not to watch a 40-inch movie.
Right.
So I ran back and returned it and grabbed full-screen Braveheart. Are you guys hearing this chat? And got in line and paid for it, went home, and then when I popped it in, one of the most memorable scenes in that movie is, when the guy gets, stabbed through the junk and it comes out his ass, right? So I was like, hey, I don't see the sword coming out of his ass. What the fuck is this? So I immediately returned it. That was what turned me over to a white screen. And look, I want to see all of the violence, all of the gore, okay, damn it. But yeah, I had to tell that story because everybody laughs at that.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't imagine how much I tried to educate some of my coworkers. Like before I started working at Tai Seng, I already sort of have a library career. So I was working in the library, and my supervisor, she said, "I'm a big movie fan." I said, "If you're a big movie fan, you should watch these in widescreen."
Yeah.
And she said, "What's widescreen?" And then what I did was I actually made her a VHS tape from my Laserdisc collection of all those films that look great in widescreen. Batman, like Lawrence of Arabia, Blade Runner, you name it. Basically, the stuff that should be seen in widescreen. And I gave her the tape. I said, "Well, enjoy it." And then the next day, she said, "I hate those black bars." It's like, well, I can only see like 1/3 of my TV. Like she didn't get it, but
yeah, it took a while.
It took a while, yes.
Yeah, it took a while. We got here in the house Jake Hall saying, "What's going on, Fat Samurai Guy?" And Frank. That's right. Movie Dojo Army's watching right now. Yeah, it suffered. And then don't forget, it took so long for people to appreciate widescreen that there were even full screen DVDs.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
And it was
full screen on one side, widescreen on the other side. Like, yeah. At least they have a choice.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. I guess they have, at least they have a choice. But it's so great to have you here, and let's go back in time, my friend. Sure. Let's go back in time. Get on the DeLorean.
Get on the Doraemon time machine.
121 gigawatts. Let's go back in time. So, what got you into loving movies? What movies did you watch back in the day? Growing up in Hong Kong, what was some of your favorites growing up?
I definitely had my late mother to thank. I remember I was like either 4 or 5. Yeah, and it was a Sunday, and I think my sister. It has to be either Sunday or Saturday. My elder sister was like in school or something, and then just me and my younger sister. And then my mom all of a sudden say, "Hey, you guys want to go see a movie?" And I thought, "What's a movie?" She said, "Oh, it's a great, like storytelling, but in a big screen in theater and all that stuff." Yeah. And I said, "Sure." So me, my mom, and my younger sister went to see Gone with the Wind.
Oh wow!
So that was my first film. Big screen. Yeah, it was. At that time, Hong Kong, like this is like early 70s, right? So from time to time, some Hong Kong theaters, when they either don't have enough film to show, or they just feel like, this is a popular film, let's bring it back so that people can go see it. So they would bring some of the Hollywood classic back to the big screen. And it just so happened that week they were showing Gone with the Wind, and my mom loved Gone with the Wind. She's seen it before, and so she wanted us to experience. She wanted to go see it basically, but she didn't want to go. Obviously, she can't go by herself because then no one would be home to take care of it. And my dad was at work and all that. So anyway, we all went to see Gone with the Wind. I loved it. I still remember the Atlanta the burning of Atlanta sequence. That was like, fantastic. It was so unforgettable.
Yeah.
Of course, my sister slept through the whole thing, but I remember the movie was long, but I was never bored or I never fell asleep. And that kind of started my love for movies. And then after that, and then I think either a few weeks or a year later, they were showing The Sound of Music again.
Oh, all right.
And we went, climb every mountain. So we this time is the whole family. The whole family went to see The Sound of Music, and I remember it was like the 9:30 show, and then went all the way through midnight. Again, my sister slept through it, but I love it. I thought it was fantastic. I just loved it. That was the movie that kind of brought me into musicals. So I mean, I don't really like a lot of musicals, but there's some musicals I think are great. So Sound of Music definitely one of them. But that's how I started. Liking.
The beginning.
That was the beginning, right?
Right.
And then.
When you were in the theater, when you saw Gone with the Wind, and you heard the very first curse word in cinema history, but did the theater go, "Oh, he said the word damn"?
Well, yeah, remember, but then we didn't really know English that much, so
okay,
and then it was subtitles, so it just say, like he said, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." The subtitles say, "Frankly, my dear, I really don't care." That's what like the way you translate.
Okay,
so okay. Of course, at that time I was too young to know in Confederate. But I was just mesmerized by the screen, by the color.
Oh yeah,
and by the images. And and I still remember the intermission, because there was an intermission when she raised her fist, in the half point when she went back to her home, and then she said, "I will not be hungry or whatever ever again."
Right.
And then you have that dolly shot going back, and then the intermission. I still remember that vividly. But yeah, I mean that's how I got into movies, and then every time when you have advertisement for movies that are coming out, when I watch them on TV, I would say, "Oh, I want to go see that. I want to go see that."
That was it.
So I would, sometimes I would go see them with my friends. Rarely with my family again, though, because later in the 70s, like, both of my parents had to work, so they hardly had any time to take us to the movie. I did go see Star Wars with my dad. That was a great experience.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, you saw it in
yeah.
theater.
I saw
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I saw The New Hope in the theater with my dad, and then saw
Wow.
Jackie Chan's Spiritual Kung Fu in the theater. I remember
Oh,
that.
all right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, no, that was nice. But the thing that I really wanted to see the most at that time was Shaw Brother movies, because they were
Right.
always advertising on TV, and they say, "Oh, coming, like this Thursday, this movie starring T Long, whatever, Cripple Avengers." Oh my God, Cripple Avengers! I gotta go see it.
Yeah.
But every time I try to go see it, it always says not suitable for children. Nope,
Boo.
not suitable for children. And actually, one time I did try to go see it. I actually tried to push my luck. So when Cripple Avengers came out,
Yeah.
I actually went to the Shaw Brother Theater. Shaw Brother has their own theater like throughout Kowloon and Hong Kong. So I went to the one closest to my home. They were showing Cripple Avengers, and I tried to buy a ticket. He said, "No, sorry, you're too young to watch this movie." The only Shaw Brother movie that I ever saw in a theater when I grew up in Hong Kong was the Inframan, the Danny, because that's the only one that kids are allowed to go see. Not even Mighty Peking Man, because there was nudity in it. I so much want to go see Mighty Peking Man, but I couldn't get in. And it's so ironic because I got to go see King Kong, the one with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange. Nice. That one I went in to see it, no problem. I went to see it in the theater, no problem. But I couldn't go see Mighty Peking Man. So.
and that just made it worse, right? Especially when you're young, when you're denied access, you just want to see it even more,
Yeah, and I want to see what movie I want to see, and back then, watching a movie wasn't that expensive. There's like $3 or $4. It's not really too bad, and you don't want to pay more. You pay $5. You go sit at the balcony. I saw Empire Strikes Back in the balcony. That was like a luxury for me because I love Star Wars so much. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I can't even imagine. I can't even
imagine. You wouldn't. You could not imagine the impact when he said, "I'm your father."
Everybody lost it. Everybody just lost.
Oh yeah, no, everyone was gasping. They were just gasping because you have to remember again, there's subtitle. So when he said no, that line already came out. So he hasn't even said, "I'm your father" yet, but the Chinese subtitle already said, "No, I am your father." Oh. So people were already gasping before he said the line. Yeah. Wow. But still. That was fantastic. Yeah.
How awesome is that? That's an awesome time right there. You got Kyle Wong saying, "What's going on, Frank and Samurai?"
Kyle, how's it going, man? So, like the only Hong Kong movies that I got to see growing up there were either the Hui Brother comedies, because they're all family friendly.
Right.
Sioux Warriors, the Jackie Chan ones, and the Kung Fu comedy, Young Master, Spiritual Kung Fu, all that. So those I got to see.
That's still awesome, though.
That is still awesome, yeah. Yeah, in fact, Sioux Warriors was the last Hong Kong movie I saw before I came to the U.S.
Yeah. Oh, what did you think? What did you think of Sioux Warriors?
I love it. I thought it was great. Yeah, it is like a perfect realization of the kind of thing that you usually read in like Chinese martial art novels. There were the flying fairies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He actually make them fly. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, you don't realize they're using wires and stuff, but then still.
Yeah. Got Eric here, Asian movie enthusiast, saying Frank is a badass. We all
Thank
know
you.
this.
I am a badass. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. You got to do the point. Oh man, so growing up as a young teen in the U.S. now, so you moved to you came to the USA during your teenage years, and you went to San Francisco.
Well, Oakland to be exact. Yeah, Oakland. Bay Area. Yeah, okay. I live in Oakland. Yeah.
Okay, and every weekend you went to go check out Hong Kong movies.
Yes. What happened was, when I found out that, because in Oakland there's a Chinatown in Oakland, but there's no movie theater in Oakland. Not at that time. By the time I moved here, there used to be, I think, a Lux Theater in Oakland, Chinatown, that used to show all these kung fu movies. It's closed by then. So by the time I got here, there were no movie theater in Oakland, Chinatown, but there were theaters in San Francisco, China. There were 4 at that time. You have the La Hing, you have the Great Star, Pagoda, and the World Theater. So there was four theaters showing different different Hong Kong movies every weekend almost. So
Wow.
once I saw in the newspaper, oh my God, they're showing these movies, you know, I decided to just go and watch them, you know, like because by the time right before I left Hong Kong, I already started watching tons of Hong Kong movies, like the Aces Go Places and all that jazz, right? And, anything that can go in and watch, except the Shaw Brothers stuff. But so once I realized, you can actually see these new movies here. I just went every weekend, from high school through college and then beyond. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. The jealousy is going to continue here.
There's no end to your jealousy, man.
So Empire Strikes Back in theater, classic Jackie Chan in theater,
Yeah, just Drunken Master 2, I got to tell about Drunken Master 2, though.
Oh, my goodness.
So Great Star showed Drunken Master 2. And
okay.
Normally when they show a new movie, you wouldn't know what's the next movie until the day before they start showing. Like,
okay.
They will start on a Friday, but you wouldn't know what movie is going to show until Thursday. They don't advertise it. They wouldn't advertise it in the newspapers until like on a Thursday. So once on Thursday, okay, this weekend I'm going to go see this and this and this. Yeah. So Drunken Master 2, I knew in advance they're going to do Drunken Master 2. And I normally go see the later show because I want to eat first and then go, I would go to the San Francisco Chinatown, eat there, and then go see like a 9:30 show. And also because they were always double features. So actually not the 9:30 shows, so 7:30 shows. I would go there I'll get there around 6:00, eat my dinner, and go buy tickets to see the double feature from 7:30 to 9:30.
Man.
So what happened with Drunken Master 2 was it's going to be just a single feature. They're just going to show them a single feature. And nothing, not like a normal double feature thing. So I was like, okay, well, I'll catch the 9:30 show. Maybe 7:30 is too crowded. Yeah. So, I got there, ate my dinner, and then when I got to Great Star, this is like almost 9:00. They said sold out. 9:30 show is sold out.
Wow.
And 9:30 show is sold out, and there were like 200 people waiting outside with no tickets. There are 200 people waiting outside. I want to go see the 9:30 show.
Wow.
And we wouldn't leave. No, none of us would leave because we want to see the movie, And so they decided to show an extra 11:30 p.m. show just for the people who couldn't get into the 9:30 show.
Wow.
I think that was probably the once and only time that I've seen that happen. Yeah.
Like, we'll do one more showing. Screw it.
Yeah, why not? We have 200 people outside ready to kill us. Yeah. So that was memorable. That was really memorable.
How was it seeing Drunken Master 2 in theater?
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
Oh, it was great. Oh, yeah. I mean, the reaction, the crowd, and also like even then, I noticed there are quite a few Westerners going to see these movies.
All right.
Oh yeah. There are quite a few, especially for Sammo Hung movie, Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
I always remember this guy with a motorcycle helmet. He will always sit by himself. And he had his motorcycle helmet, so when I recognized him right away when I saw him in the theater. He would go to all the theaters that I went. He would go to the World Theater. I remember seeing him at World Theater when he was watching Ashes of Time.
Yeah.
At Great Star watching Jackie Chan stuff because different studios would play at different theaters. So like Golden Harbor stuff is at Great Star, Cinema City at Pagoda. And the independent stuff at the World Theater, so to speak. But he, like almost every other week, I would see him there by himself, with his motorcycle helmet next to him.
Yeah.
And I'll see him grin, smile, what have you. And I'll always remember him clap. He was the first guy to clap at the end of Ashes of Time. He loved it so much. He just clapped. Like the moment the credit came up, he just started clapping.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that time, I already realized, not like Asians are not the only one that love these movies. Apparently, Westerners like them too. So
yes. That guy with the motorcycle helmet that at any time did he look at Donnie Yen and go, "Hey, is that Lou Diamond Phillips?"
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny, man.
I had to share that story, man. I was like, Frank's gonna laugh.
I'm pretty sure he was at the Iron Monkey showing. But yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't say, "Is that Lou Diamond Phillips?" No,
there's hope.
But I see him grinning all the time. Like he's grinning. He's enjoying it so much.
I'd be grinning too.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like I said, it's like we over here we came late to the game, man. It's like we barely found these movies on VHS, and then we barely found them on DVD. But luckily, there was a company out there that was kicking ass and taking names for us at the time. That's right. We didn't have Eureka. We didn't have 88 Films at the time. We didn't have Arrow. We had Tai Seng Entertainment, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. So before we move on, in terms of your career choice, was there anything else you want to tell us about your movie going experience? Or are you going to save that while we talk?
I mean, that was just how I spend my days and weekends. Even when I was in college, and then and then after I graduated from college, I started working. I'll still go to the theaters on Saturday night and Sunday just to catch up on all these latest movies coming from Hong Kong. Like Bullet in the Head, Chinese Ghost Story. I mean, you name it. Just went to see it. Yeah.
We got a question here from Marco G. He says, Frank, are you associated to Fortune Star Entertainment in Hong Kong?
No, I'm not associated with any studios.
Okay.
I'm myself only. I'm totally independent. Yeah. Right now, of course,
Right. Again, the jealousy is continuing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about how you changed your career and from a full-time library worker to working for Tai Seng by chance.
Yeah. I always want to be like a I always want to do a career in library, even though to be a librarian you have to have a master's degree, right? But you can still work in a library. You can still work in a library as like a library assistant or what have you with a college degree. So
yeah.
So after I graduated from UC Davis, I went to work for Oakland Public Library for a few months. Then I went to work at Cal State Hayward Library for a few years.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I went back to Oakland and became a full-time library assistant there. And I was there for about 2 years. I was getting bored. I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy the work, but library is a library, right? I mean, so it's the same thing day in, day out. So helping people, checking out books and stuff. So and I was young back then. I just came out from college in early 20s. So I was getting. I mean, I don't mind the work, but I was feeling a little bit bored. And it just so happened, a friend of mine, her friend, works at Tai Seng as a human resource person. And she remembered hearing the general manager, Helen, at Tai Seng.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to hire, so they're trying to start this English department, right? Because they noticed this demand.
Right.
They noticed the demand for Hong Kong movies from English-speaking fans. And also there was one other reason for which I'll go into later when we get to John Woo. Because I think it was that incident that kind of led to Helen saying, you know what, we'll start our own English department targeting Westerners. Anyway, so they started this English department. They already released like 2 titles at that time. But they were having a hard time finding a marketing guy. They had this marketing manager, but she needed someone to help her. And they're trying to find someone. They've been looking for like months, I think, at least 3 or 4 months, and they couldn't find the right candidate. And so Helen was complaining to the HR, because the HR person said, all these candidates, they're no good. They don't know movies. All they asked was like, well, I get to meet Jackie Chan, that sort of thing, right? I mean, during the interview, right? Some of the people go, will I get to meet Jackie Chan or Jet Li and all that stuff. So they were getting frustrated. Then that friend, my friend's friend, who's the HR person, remembered me because I'm not close with her, but we've been out together several times, and she remembered that I mentioned I like movies. I would go see movies every weekend, and she asked me, "Hey, we have this opening at Tai Seng. They're looking for a marketing guy. Would be interested?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Right?" So turned in my resume and all that jazz. Got to the interview, and I went into a photo interview, and I actually got into an argument with the marketing manager because she was kind of rude.
Really?
And I was having none of it. And so I started kind of arguing with her. Yeah. And for whatever reason, she thought, oh, okay, this guy actually has some opinion of it. I don't know. Something happened, right? And then
was she trying to test you? Maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
About it?
She was just kind of obnoxious. I think, the way she asked me questions.
Okay.
And I just kind of started I guess she was trying to see how much I know about Hong Kong film. And so she started asking these kind of questions. And then and I just said, have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? Blah, blah, blah. And I guess that impressed her. So, and then she sent me to Helen, the GM, and then she had a talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then so I left. And that was the interview. I left. And then nothing happened. I didn't hear back from them for like 5-6 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was getting mad.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to hire me, at least let me know, right? I don't leave me hanging in the air.
Right.
So I after like 6 or 7 weeks after the interview, I call the marketing manager who I call my HR friend first. I say, hey, what's going on? How come I haven't heard back from you guys? So she then forwarded my call to the marketing manager who interviewed me, and she just said, oh, we're still evaluating. We're still we're still in the evaluating, reviewing process, but you're like one of the top candidates for the job. I said, oh, okay, fine. All right. And then a week after that call, they offered me the job. Yeah. And I actually hesitated in taking it because the pay was actually lower than my library job.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a city job, so pay is not like too bad, right? Yeah, I mean, right. Benefits are good, but they were offering me, a salary that was almost like $800 less a month, $800 a month less than my current salary.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, this would be a good chance for me to kind of use my knowledge and my passion to introduce Hong Kong movies to the Western world. So I said, fuck it, I'll try it. If I didn't like it or whatever reason, I can always go back to library work or something.
Yeah.
Good job. And that's how I got started.
Awesome. Yeah. That is awesome, man. That is really, really cool. I think she was trying to test you, man. Just say, all right, let's see if this guy knows what he's talking about. Because I'm sure if you just went in there, I like Bruce Lee. She's really like, all right, next.
Because I think during the interview, I did mention someone who is not like a Jackie Chan or a Jet Li name. I forgot who I meant. I might have mentioned Wong Kar-wai or some obscure director. It could be Wong Kar-wai. I think that was what impressed her. So.
Right. Well, look at this good-looking guy.
Yep.
Look at that guy, man. That ladies' man right there.
That wall. This is like during probably my first or second year. You see the Duel to the Death post flyer on the wall there.
Oh, so, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably during my second year. So this would have to be like 97. And then by the time I left Tai Seng, that whole wall is plastered with like stuff,
Yeah. Oh, how cool is that? You looking styling and profiling there, I might add. Is that up in the top right? Is that the Blade?
That's the poster for the Blade. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tai Seng was also doing theatrical stuff, so we were showing the Blade in the theaters. And when they sent us the print from Hong Kong, they would send us these posters for us to, display in the theater. I thought, man, I gotta get one of these posters. I just grabbed one, frame it.
Do you still have it?
Yes, I still have it. It's in my basement though. I still have it. I have tons of posters. I have an Ashes of Time poster somewhere.
Hey, if there's any memorabilia around where you're at, where you can get up and show us, by all means, go ahead.
I know, right? Yeah. So that's the great thing, because every time they send this print, they always send the movie poster. They wouldn't just send one; they would send like 50. So I was like, yeah, I can just grab one.
Yeah. How cool is that? That's cool. That Eric here says he's looking forward to Frank's commentary on Millionaires Express.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is fun, man. This is we're getting some sneak peeks here behind the scenes. This is really cool.
But I hate wearing the shirt and tie though. I really hated it.
Yeah, you're just like, well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it took like, I think it was almost like 10 years of me say, okay, we can do Casual Fridays. It's like we don't even meet people, we don't meet people once in a while, right?
Right.
So why dress up? But that's how I don't know. I mean, a lot of people didn't realize it, but Tai Seng is actually owned by a Singaporean family. Right. So Tai Seng is not a Chinese company; it's a Singaporean company.
Right.
So they started in Hong Kong, but the family that owned Tai Seng was from Singapore originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. So Singapore, never work with Singaporean. Trust me. I mean,
I want to know where the Sega Genesis is hidden. You got the Sega Genesis in there. I know it's in there somewhere.
We were still using those modem, man, the dial-up modem, and the shittier thing about that was, I had to review artwork, and my graphic designer at that time, he was in LA, so once he finished designing something, he would have to send me the artwork by email, but because it was dialed up modem, it would take like 1 hour just to send me one file.
Oh man,
yeah, those were the days, man.
Floppy disks, man, that was it.
Yeah,
floppy disk city.
So you
worked for Tai Seng for 12 years.
12 years, 1996 to 2008. Yeah.
How cool is that? So let's keep it rocking and rolling here. I'm having a blast talking about this. How did you meet this guy?
This guy, all right.
Who is this?
Santa Claus. No, this is Rick Myers. This was our first con together. This was at World Con in Anaheim in I think it was like Labor Day. It was Labor Day weekend, 2006. 2006. So, I'm sorry, no, not 2006, 1996. So what happened was about a month or so after I started working for Tai Seng, Rick Myers came to town. He came to San Francisco, and he met with Helen, the GM, and Helen said, "You know what? You got to meet Frank. Frank shared the same enthusiasm as you are and stuff."
Nice.
And he was trying to persuade Helen to start doing these convention stuff.
Oh, really?
Right. I don't know whether he went to Comic-Con at that time or not, because obviously it was too late for us to do Comic-Con in '96. But he came by. I think it was either like late June or July. So memory is a bit fuzzy here, but so it was either after or before he went to Comic-Con that year, if he went at all. Right. So, but he was trying to persuade Tai Seng to start doing convention.
Okay, that's when it started.
So he came and told Helen, said, "You know what? We probably couldn't make Comic-Con, right? It's too late for Comic-Con, but there is Worldcon in Anaheim, and Worldcon goes to different cities every year. It just so happened that year they were doing it in Anaheim, and so he was trying to persuade Helen, maybe we should do it and see how the reaction is now that you started this quote unquote English line, right? English line.
Yeah.
So that's how we met, Rick, and then she introduced Rick to me, and then we had dinner. We had a great time. He was in town for like 3 days, like 2 nights and 3 days. Yeah. So we basically, spent both night, almost like both evening together, having fun, chatting. And then it was decided, we'll go to Worldcon. We'll book a room. We'll book a room. It wasn't too expensive. We'll book a room and we just show these, these early English department titles, with the new subtitles and remastered picture.
In the background there, I see, is that Wing Chun?
Yeah, we have Bright White Hair, obviously, and then behind Rick was Heroic Trio. We have Wing Chun, Executioners, and Organized Crime and Tribal. But we also try to show various movies because we had like a room for like 3 days. It was it was a 3-day show, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Right. So you kind of had to spread it out.
Yeah, we kind of spread it out. We were showing like one different movies almost. Every day we get to show like 6 or 7 movies. So we ended up showing close to like at least 15 to 20 movies.
I might still have the Bright White Hair poster, the Tai Seng one. I might have. I don't know. A lot of posters come and gone over the years, but I do remember buying it though. I do remember buying it, and it was weird too because of all the places. It was like in Suncoast. Woo! I'm dating myself right there. It's my turn to date myself. Suncoast had posters and they had Bright White Hair in there. I was like, what in the world? So I bought that.
You have to realize at that time, some of the vendors like Suncoast, we didn't realize we were selling to Suncoast because we were selling to distributors who sell to Suncoast, like Ingram and Baker and Taylor. When I got to start, work at Tai Seng, the distribution with these two, like Ingram, Baker and Taylor, already set up by the marketing manager, so that was cool. And it was only later on that we started doing with like Tower, Virgin Mega Store, and eventually Blockbuster and Walmart. And that took some time, because we started going to the Hollywood conventions, trade conventions, the so-called VSDA show. VSDA show, Video Software Association show, it's really the precursor to what you're seeing at Comic-Con now, all these Hollywood studios. Yeah, it was because they started advertising or promoting this stuff at Comic-Con that led to Comic-Con, growing so big. But also led to the demise of the VSDA show. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. That's really interesting stuff here. But yeah, it's like I remember going into Suncoast and there was always a section dedicated just for martial arts movies. And I remember Duel to the Death was there on VHS and stuff like that. And then I started seeing DVDs. And then I remember they had a section in Suncoast for foreign DVDs.
Right.
And I remember seeing I never seen the movies, but I remember seeing A Better Tomorrow, A Better Tomorrow 2. And I was like, hey, it's Charlie and Phat. I know who that guy is, right? And I remember picking up the DVD and looking on the back, and I was like, $45. So I was like, put that back here. I'm gonna go walk this way.
Blame the distributor. They were asking for an arm and a leg too.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because. Yeah, some of those classic titles when it first came out on DVDs, they were like asking for a lot of money, even for wholesale.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, really? We had no choice but to charge. Like I remember it was $39.99 retail, I think, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, Laserdisc is a totally different story. Laserdisc, hell, some of the Masters were Drunken Master 2 was $89.95. But believe it or not, that was our best-selling Laserdisc title, even at that price. In fact, I
wouldn't be surprised.
I know. In fact, when we couldn't sell it because Miramax bought the rights, after Miramax bought the rights, bought the worldwide rights to it, we have to stop selling the Laserdisc. Even after we announced that we stopped selling it, we were still getting thousands and thousands of orders coming in from fax by fax. People are like, can we get, like, can we still get them before you cut it off? It's too late. Yeah,
I wonder if it's worth even more now. If you think about it,
I think last time I checked eBay, it was like $100 or $120.
So it went up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. We're talking about how you met Rick and stuff. Now this is the first Comic-Con.
Yep,
first Comic-Con extravaganza right here. Going back in time.
So we did Worldcon. We liked it. Helen liked it. Helen thought it was a good promotional chance and said, okay, we'll do Comic-Con next year. So that's how we ended up doing the panel. Yeah. And at that time, it was just me and him. Like later on, as the panel grew, we have other guests, right? We have, comedy nerds and all that other staff, other panelists. But in the initial years, just Rick and me. And, we would just talk about the movie that we're about to show.
Okay, so you still show. How did you show the movies back then? Just a DVD, a projector?
Back then, we were still. I think in the beginning, we were still showing one like individual films. It was only until like the second or third year we started doing clips. I think the first year we had like 3 hours or 4 hours, at least 3 hours for that room, and so we decided to show just the movie. And that was at least for the first year.
Yeah.
We'll premiere. Right. We'll premiere a film or something like Comic-Con premiere. Yeah. But then by the second, third year, we thought, we should do clips. Yeah, we decided that we really should do clips so we can introduce more movies, get people, and people are short attention, right? They can't just sit and watch a whole movie. And so that's how we decided to make it more like a clip highlight show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But this is the beginning. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you got to love Rick's styling shirts there.
Yeah.
You got to love Rick's shirts.
Yeah.
So any other memorable things to talk about while working in Tai Seng? Do you want to get into that, or do you want to talk about some of the reasons what made you kind of move on?
Okay, sure. Well, Tai Seng, we would go to trade show in the beginning, and we were getting, we were actually not being welcome at that time initially. Yeah, because to some of the distributors or some of the studios, they felt we were intruding on the turf, like Xenon, because at that time you have like some distributor like Xenon and Fox Lorber, which I will definitely go into detail later.
Okay.
Selling Hong Kong movies. So they were surprised and shocked, and also a little bit upset that you had this, Asian company actually here selling Asian movies.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like to them, this is like, we were trying, like to them, they're trying to introduce Asian movies to their customers or the vendors. Now you have this Asian company not only selling their own movies, but also selling them or presenting them in a way that's like look nice, Criterion-like, these like Criterion treatment.
Yeah.
And people are used to, like I said, pan and scan, poorly dubbed, bad quality, those kind of movie, and to see something like, Bright White Hair and Heroic Trio. Heroic Trio was for 1 week. Heroic Trio was the #1 bestseller at Virgin Megastore.
Wow.
And Virgin had a booth at VSDA at that time. This was 96, and they listed their bestsellers right at the booth.
Yeah.
And our booth happened to be like right next to them or close by. And somebody walked by, saw that list, and saw the Heroic Trio, Tai Seng, and blurted out loud, "Who the hell is this Tai Seng?" Because they never heard of us. And to have this unknown distributor, having the top spot on the bestseller list, it was rather shocking.
Wow.
So I think in many ways they really tried to undermine us, over the years. They try to, they try to beat us up. They try to take us out of competition one way or the other. I think that kind of led to people like Miramax and other studios like Sony spending all this money on buying these movies. that's kind of their way of trying to cut us out, right?
Wow.
And Miramax actually came and bought Wing Chun and Iron Monkey from us after we bought the rights. We had the rights to Wing Chun and Iron Monkey. Right, and then a few years after we released them, Miramax came in and said, we want to buy them. We'll buy them from you, but you can never release them again. So
Miramax bought Wing Chun? I didn't see them release anything later.
They never released. No, see, that's the rub. They buy it so that we couldn't release it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and the only reason they released Iron Monkey was because Donnie Yen was kind of famous with Blade 2 at that time. Donnie Yen had a name with Blade 2.
The market.
So and I think Highlander, he was also in one of the Highlander movies, I think.
Highlander Endgame,
yeah. So they were thinking, oh well, we'll capitalize on his cult status here. But they released Iron Monkey. Yeah. And also because Iron Monkey was one of the inspiration for the Matrix. The Wachowski brother openly declared that Iron Monkey is their favorite Hong Kong kung fu film. So it didn't surprise me that they will release Iron Monkey, but Wing Chun is a totally different matter. Dirty, I know. Yeah, somebody just said dirty.
Yeah. But there's some fans here. They love the heroic trio here.
Oh yeah,
shout out to heroic.
No, that I love I think Executioners is hugely underrated. Executioner, the sequel, is also
dark.
It's very dark.
That got dark.
Yeah, I mean those two are rare, Hong Kong superhero movies. At the time. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate to hear, because you guys are you're doing it not just for business purposes, but you're doing it for the love of the cinema itself and to get these movies spread out so that more people will know about them too. So it's not just business; it's business and pleasure at the same time,
right,
guys.
Right. But in the end, we ended up in Blockbuster, we ended up in Walmart. So it was, we did what we, came up to achieve.
I'm telling you right now, if I pull one of these wallets over here, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Tai Seng DVDs in there, man. We had to, and the quality was good, like you said. And I was just like, thank God, finally, widescreen, original language, good subtitles. This was like a treat, So we really appreciate all that you guys have done,
Because I got sick of people making fun of these subtitles. I'll tell you one thing. Oliver Stone's assistant one time called and placed an order with us.
Okay.
Oliver Stone's assistant. So I took care of the order, sent it to him, and then a few weeks later he sent me an autograph picture of him, from Oliver Stone. And you know what he wrote up there?
What did he write?
He wrote, "Hey Frank, what are you going to do about the subtitles?" That's what he wrote.
That's the autograph.
That's the autograph. He said, "Hey Frank, what are you going to do about the subtitles?" I love Oliver Stone.
Yeah,
he's a great filmmaker.
Yeah, Platoon. Yeah.
Platoon. I mean, JFK. I mean, but that just kind of, that's what drove me to refine the subtitles. I got to change people's image or impression that Hong Kong movies have bad subtitles.
Right. Yeah, because we've come across a lot of bad third-party releases of Hong Kong movies, and the subtitles are bad. But Tai Seng, did a lot better job than those. The worst, though, was the embedded subtitles. Those are the worst because they're just white and they're attached to the film.
Yeah.
So if it's bright in daylight or if there's white in the the background, you can't see it.
I know.
But
those are burned in. Those are burned in. I mean, they just use the print, the subtitle from the theatrical print. So.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
and they were poorly translated. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Marcos here says, according to IMDb, Miramax licensed Wing Chun to BCI Eclipse distributor in 2009.
Possible.
Interesting.
But I haven't really seen official.
I haven't seen anything. I would know because that was around the time where I was actually starting to be a collector and buy these things. So were there any other? I mean, that was a major reason right there. These big companies pushing you guys out. Was there any other reasons why you just like, I'm just going to move on? But Tai Seng, I had a great career, 12 years there.
Oh, there were really several reasons. First thing was sales was kind of in the decline since the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, especially after 9/11. So after 9/11, we were not meeting annual sales goal year after year. And there were several reasons for it. One, it was the bootlegging. Bootlegging piracy was really bad. I would actually join the company lawyer to New York, LA, Chicago to do raids. I would go do raids, copyright raids on these bootleggers and pirates. And there are tons of them. So obviously they're hurting our business.
Right.
Second, there were obviously there were competitions from Miramax,
Right.
Magnolia at that time, Sony, so Columbia, TriStar, they were buying Hong Kong movies at that time too.
Right.
Um,
The Sony
so
Classic Pictures wasn't that Crouching Tiger, House of Flying Daggers, and Hero, or was no Hero was
here
Miramax?
was Miramax.
Okay.
Well, Crouching Tiger, they made that movie, right? Sony made that
Okay, they
movie,
made that movie.
but
Okay.
then they also started buying stuff. They're buying like Downtown Torpedoes and all that kind of other movies. I mean, there were quite a bunch of Hong Kong movies that Sony bought them.
Right.
So it's getting harder and harder to get good quality Hong Kong titles.
Right.
And then of course Hong Kong started making less and less action titles since the handover, right? I mean, the 80s and 90s were the excuse me, 80s and 90s were the golden age.
Oh yeah.
But by the late 90s, things started to kind of go on the decline.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of lesser choices and also lesser movies being made. And then the third thing was Tai Seng started going to IPTV, which is kind of like the predecessor to streaming. IPTV is Internet Protocol Television. So it was, I mean, it's a set-top box, but it's like cumbersome. They were trying to do streaming for whatever. I mean, the management was convinced that streaming is the future, which of course now he was right. But back then, because technology for streaming was still in its infancy, we were spending tons of effort and money and time on developing it.
Yeah.
And so that led to like long working hours. I was working 12 hours a day. And being an Asian company, you don't get OT. There's no OT.
Right. Oh man.
So, I would go to the office at 10, then I would leave at 10, and then go home and have dinner and stuff. And then also at that time, my late mother was started to, getting sick. And so I realized, she's her health issues. Yeah. So I realized that, this is not going to work. I would need basically to find a regular 9-to-5 job so I can spend more time with my family, with my mom. Right. And so I decided to leave in February of 2008. But I was still working for Tai Seng afterwards. So I was still, because they were still releasing titles. They still need artwork to be designed and reviewed. Right. They still need subtitles. So even though I left Tai Seng as a full-time employee, I was still working for them as a freelancer for a little bit more than a year afterwards. So whatever title that came out after I left, like the year after I left Tai Seng, those titles they were still produced by me.
Right. Well, hey, you had to do what's best for your mom, and yourself, and that is kind of cool that you did help a little bit before you left. You did some, help with the marketing there. That's pretty cool. So let's talk a little bit about the New York Asian Film Festival there. How did you get involved with that? That started in 2010.
Right.
And then it was from 2015 to 2017. So let's talk
about that. Yeah. So Mark Walco, he used to work for Image Entertainment, and he's a friend of mine. He's a Hong Kong film fanatic. So I met him at one of those trade shows back in Tai Seng. So, and then he went to work for Criterion for a brief period of time. And anyway, so he was one of the I guess either founders or committee. He was one of the staff that was responsible for the Subway Cinema people that eventually did the New York Asian Film Festival. And in 2010, they decided to give out the Lifetime Achievement Award to both Sammo Hung and Simon Yam.
Yeah.
And normally for the film festival, for the guests, you would have volunteers, doing guest liaisons and also doing interpretation for them. But obviously, you can't have like college kid or high school kid accompanying, taking Sammo and Simon Yam around, and these are big stars.
Yeah.
And so Mark thought of me. Mark said, "You know what? I think we should, reach out to Frank. Yeah. Even though he's left Tai Seng, I'm sure he would be, willing to help out." So it just so happened I was about to go to New York at that time, so I flew to New York, and I met Mark and Grady Hendrix. Who, if you're a Hong Kong film fan, you would know who Grady Hendrix is. He's like the, probably one of the biggest fans of Hong Kong cinema, this side of East Coast. So anyway, Grady invited me to be, like the guest interpreter and kind of like liaison for Sammo and Simon. And I said, sure, I'll do it. And so that's how I got involved. Yeah.
How cool is that? And then was this the first time that you met the legend?
Well, this was back then, yes, at the New York Asian Film Festival. That was the first time. This picture was actually taken at the Hong Kong Film Mart a few years later. So this is the second time I met him.
Oh, awesome!
I interviewed him for my martial arts film documentary, which we can talk about a bit later. So
we talk about that one.
Yeah, he just happened to be at the Film Mart trade show in Hong Kong. I said, great, I'll interview him. So anyway, but that was a great, memorable experience hosting Samuel, and his wife was there too, Joyce Cadenzi. Of course, she was in Eastern Condors as the Cambodian guerrilla fighter, and Simon Yam was there. Simon Yam was like the nicest.
That guy's great.
This guy's great. He even helped me hail a taxi, and he, because we were late to the reception, because we had a dinner with the Hong Kong Trade and Development Office on the night that they're gonna get their awards.
Yeah.
And of course, knowing this kind of thing, things always go late, right? So the dinner was a little bit late, and we were late to the, the ceremony.
Right.
And so I have to try and hail a cab. At that time this was back when we didn't think about having a limousine service and all that stuff. And I'm totally surprised that the guests at that time actually tolerated taking cabs for that. But anyway, later on we started. I mean, when I helped them again later on, we used limousine service. But anyway, so I was trying to hail a cab, but I couldn't hail a cab because it was like rush hour, dinner time. I was getting frustrated, and Simon Yam just came up and pat my shoulder and said, "You know what? Don't worry, Frank. We're stars. They expect us to be late."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was very nice of him.
Was that the first time you met him there, or you seen him?
That's the first and only time I met Simon. But he's like just the nicest, most unpretentious. He remembers your name. He knows. He was just like so pleasant to talk to. He knows a lot, and even though he has like properties all over the world, he's this big shot star. He has money that he can probably couldn't spend the rest of his life, but he's still just so down to earth.
What a fantastic actor, and what a waste in Tomb Raider, the second Tomb Raider movie.
I know. Yeah.
Like, Simon, who convinced you to be in this movie? This is horrible, man. What a waste of this guy. But I loved him in Full Contact. I loved him in that. He's so good. He's such a good villain in Full Contact, man. Yeah. Where is this right here?
So this was anyway. So I helped out with New Asian Film for 2 years. So first in 2010 and 2011, right? Yeah. And then because I have a job change, I started working for the government. I couldn't help them. I couldn't attend anymore because for the job change I have to go training. So the training conflicted with the schedule. So for 2011, I helped them arrange the prints and schedule and all that stuff. But I actually didn't attend. I didn't attend the 2011 New York Asian Film Festival, and I missed out on meeting Choi Hart, which is still one of my life's greatest regrets. But then anyway, so a few years later, they asked me to go back and join them. But this is now under a different crew. Right. Grady is still one of them, but Grady is more like a consultant. So anyway, so I went back to help them from 2015 to 2017. I was like a guest relation manager and also a co-programmer and an interpreter. And this was from the 2016 New York Asian Film Festival, where we show the movie 10 Years,
right?
Which of course won Best Picture. Initially, they were a little bit reluctant to select this film because of the political nature of the film, right? It talks about what happened in Hong Kong in 10 years from now.
Right.
But because obviously it won Best Picture, so you can't just not show a Hong Kong film that's not that you just cannot not show the Best Picture when it's available. So
right.
So we showed the film, and I was chosen to be the panelist for the Q&A. Yeah. But because I was also the interpreter, I ended up doing translation for a couple of directors. I think mainly just one of them, because he doesn't speak. He hardly spoke any English.
Okay.
So during the Q&A, I was when we use the word moderating. Yeah, I was moderating the panel.
Right.
And when we got to the third director, I also had to do translation duties for him because he didn't speak a lot of English.
Right.
And so what would happen was this was the I was showing them an image from Hong Kong where 10 years, when it got popular, they were forced to. Theaters started pushing them out due to whatever pressure, maybe from the government, from China, who knows, right? So they couldn't, just when people started going to see the movie in theaters, you can no longer see them in theaters. So what happened was the distributors started organizing community screening at all these different places for free, and that was one of the places where they show 10 years, for the local community, and there was at least 1,000 people there watching that show at the same time. Yeah, that's Adam Wong, another Hong Kong director.
Nice.
He was
one of our guests. Up there too, right? Was he on the panel?
He was not. No, he's not on the panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the other the other Hong Kong guests during that year want to have nothing to do with the 10 years, folks, because of the sensitive nature of the film. Oh. It's a political film. It's an analogy, it's an omnibus of what would happen if China's rules on Hong Kong became stricter and stricter. What will happen in 10 years' time? Right. And of course, you're looking at what happened in Hong Kong now. It's it didn't take 10 years. Right. So, but at that time, that year, we also have Miriam Young, Adam Wong, and some other guests, and they absolutely wanted to have nothing to do with the 10 years folks, the movie, and their manager would say, please don't ask any question about 10 years. So right. But yeah, that was one of the greatest experience of my life, doing the 10 years panel.
Was that the same panel? This
that was the same panel.
Okay, cool.
Oh that's the one that you showed just before. That's Iwaji Shinji. That's a Japanese director. He did Love Letter. He did Love Letter and a whole bunch of other movies. I like him. I think he's one of the best Japanese directors working today.
Nice.
I'm a big fan.
Speaking of
Ringo Lam.
Yeah, speaking of Full Contact, son.
Yeah.
How was it meeting Ringo?
Oh, he's totally old school, man. He thinks Kurosawa. He would never take that sunglasses off, and he loved to be praised. Every time somebody complimented him, he would all smile and stuff. But he also has a pretty. He was kind of temperamental. He would change his mind at the very last minute. Because the New Asian Film Festival staff, actually his assistant, he also came. His assistant is also actually one of the staff at the New York Asian Film Festival, and so he arranged a tour of the One World Plaza building, the One World Trade Center building, which was just finished at that time, just completed not too long ago at that time. And so it's not easy to get a tour to that building at that time. You have to. You have that connection, basically, right? So his assistant arranged his private tour where he would get to go to the top floor of the observatory deck all by himself, and they're gonna have lunch there and stuff. And on the morning of the tour, he changed his mind and said, "I'm not going."
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So he's one of those.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by one of those. He was nice to me. He signed all my Blu-ray covers and stuff. He said I was the only person that had him sign Burning Paradise.
Oh.
He said of all those films that he signed, it's always City on Fire, Prison on Fire, School on Fire, maybe Wild Search, right? Full Alert, definitely, Full Contact, definitely. But Burning Paradise, he said no one except me had let him sign Burning Paradise.
Wow. How cool is that? You got his autograph. But love his movies, love Full Contact. That's pretty awesome that you met him. So I was going to ask you, I don't know, you're probably not allowed to say, but is there a future for Full Contact being remastered sometime?
I really don't know. I really don't know. Because I'm at the mercy of basically Eureka 88 Film. I mean, they when they feel like it's time to tell me what's going to come up, they tell me. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I do know what's coming up next year. For on some of the title for Eureka. But I really can't say anything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we could segue right into that. Time and Tide, make sure you buy it on Blu-ray. But Eureka and 88 Films, how did you get involved with them to do commentaries and whatnot? How cool is this?
Eureka is a funny story. So they were they started doing all these remastered Hong Kong titles, right? And they got to the John Woo films, Last Hurrah for Chivalry,
right?
And they they're always looking for materials to put in their essays or booklets. And they always have a booklet. And so I guess they saw my liner notes I wrote for the Tai Seng Last Hurrah for Chivalry Laserdisc, and they liked it. and so they wanted to reprint it for the booklet for the Blu-ray release, but they couldn't find me. They're having a hard time finding me. They don't know how to get hold of me.
Okay.
And so they started reaching out to other people, and then finally they got to Severin Film. Severin Film, the horror, the niche stuff, which I happen to be working with Severin Films on this martial art, this documentary on Bruce Partition films and martial art films in the 1970s, which we can talk about later. So, but it just so happened they reached out to Severin Films and said, hey, David is the owner. David, we're trying to find Frank Chan. Would you happen to have a contact? And David said, of course I do. So they gave Eureka my email address, and then that's how we got hooked up with Eureka. And at first they just said, oh, we just want we would like to reprint your Last Hurrah for Chivalry liner notes. I said sure. And then they said, well, we'll be interested in doing other stuff. We also have a bunch of Hong Kong titles. We're doing this Sammo Home box set. We're doing this box set with the Iron Fist Monk, Magnificent Butcher, and Eastern Condors.
Yeah.
Would you be interested? Like you said, Mike Leader is doing commentary on Eastern Condors and Magnificent Butcher, but he doesn't want to do Iron Fist Monk. Would you be interested in doing Iron Fist Monk? And I've done some audio commentaries for Tai Seng back then. I actually did like 2 movies, solo commentaries. I don't think I did a good job, but I'd done them before. So I said, you know what? I thought about it. I said, I wouldn't mind doing Iron Fist Monk, but can I also do Eastern Condor, because that's like my favorite Sammo Hung movie.
Yeah.
And they luckily they let me do it. So that's why on the Sammo Hung box set from Eureka, you have 2 commentaries for Eastern Condors. One by Mike and one by me. But anyway, so I first did Iron Fist Monk, and I haven't done commentary in over 10 years. So I thought I didn't really do a good job. I did my usual research and stuff, trying to think of what to say. I really don't want to wing it. I didn't want to just do a chat commentary and some of those you hear from other distributors. So I did my research. I did it, and I thought I really did a piss poor job on it. I sent it to them, and they say, "Hey, you know what? You did a good job on it."
Yeah, I was
oh, really? Oh, yeah. And then and then I did Eastern Condor, and I felt a bit more confident on Eastern.
Okay, nice.
So, but that's how I got started on doing commentary for for Eureka.
Yeah.
And then finally, and then for 88 Film, it's sort of like the same situation.
Right.
It was not 88 Film that reached out to me. There was actually a fan who, a fan who actually contacted me by Facebook and said, "Hey, are you familiar with 88 Films?" I said, "Well, I know who they are, Yeah. And they said, "Well, they're having a hard time finding somebody to do a commentary for Stephen Chow film, Forbidden City Cop, because all the people that they asked didn't feel that they can, they understand the humor. They didn't understand the jokes because it was too local. It's really like, you really have to understand Cantonese in order for you to understand and appreciate some of the Stephen Chow jokes." I said, "Sure, yeah, I'll do it." And it was just, it was also like pretty last minute because they were, rushing for release, and they asked, "Can I do it in like 2 weeks?" I said, "Okay, I'll try." And I did it in 2 weeks, and I thought I did a good job too. So and they liked it, and that's how. And then they started offering me other titles. I just did Story with Ricky.
It has started. Oh, I can't wait to. You did Ricky?
I did Story with Ricky.
Oh, I can't wait. The trailer just dropped.
Yeah, they just dropped the trailer. It was too bad because I was hoping that we have finished the trailer sooner, and we could have featured it in the panel last week.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear your audio commentary for.
There are four commentaries on that. What happened with Story Ricky was they were asking different people to do. So there's a Mike Leader commentary, then my commentary, and there's also 2 other audio commentaries. I think one is from somebody who's like more like a gamer, because they wanted someone from a video game perspective. And also there was one other commentary from someone else. And I think they were worried that some of the commentary might not deliver. So but then it turns out all 4 of us delivered. So that's why you have 4 commentaries.
All right. Oh man, just really quick, I have to tell you this Ricky story really quick. So my buddy and I, there was this little small, little video store, this little Korean video store by his house, and we went in there, and he had an all-region VHS player, so we went in there, and we couldn't. There was no subtitles or anything. We just popped into movies and see if there was anything cool. So we were looking around, we're like, I didn't really find anything. Let's just keep going. And right before I was about to leave, I looked down and way in the bottom, I was like, "What is that?" We were getting ready to leave the store. I look down, I grab it, and I turn it around, and the only image that's on the cover is Ricky punching through a wall from the movie. Was the only thing that was. I was just like, "What is this, man? What is this? All right, we're taking this home. Let's go. Let's go." We had no idea. There was nothing. There was no photos on the back. We had no idea we were about to watch the awesomeness, the cult movie status classic that we were about to watch. So we pop it in, and we were like, "Oh, it's a prison movie." We're like, "Oh, all right. Well, I thought it looked cool, but so we're just kind of bored. We're just kind of waiting. And as soon as I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but as soon as the carnage happens, our mouths dropped. We were like, "Oh my god!" And by the end of it, we were just like, "This is the greatest. This was the greatest thing ever." And we let a couple. We rented it again, and we let friends borrow it. Oh my god!
I have a story to tell. Yeah, about Story Ricky. Tai Seng used to carry Story Ricky, but for whatever reason, I think it was because at that time they Golden Harvest sold the English rights to Media Blaster or somebody at that time.
Okay.
So even though we still have the original language rights, we were not allowed to release it with English subtitle. So what we had was just in the original language with no subtitle, the VHS that we sold for Story Ricky, and it was still one of our best sellers. People would call and ask, "I want to order the Story Ricky," and say, "You know what? We have it, but there are no English subtitles." And people's reaction was like, "I don't care. I want it." Yeah. We sold tons of it.
Ricky the story of Ricky, chat, and those who are watching right now, is legendary. If you're a fan of cult films, gore, over the top craziness, just over the top stuff you will not forget. You will not forget this movie.
It's a cult classic. Yeah,
it is. It is a cult classic. It is just. We've had my wife loves it. All my friends love it. I mean, but it's just funny because I may never have experienced it if we just kept walking. If I didn't take a chance and look down, and so. Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I didn't even see it when it was showing at Great Star Theater. I didn't see this in the theater. Yeah.
Right.
So.
But yeah, Yukari Yoshima's in there, Terry Fan. It's such a good time. But yeah, I mean, that's so awesome that you're with 88 Films in Eureka now, because they know you have the knowledge, And even if you did go in and wing it for a commentary, you still would have killed it. You probably would have been unhappy with your performance, but you still would have killed it for us fans.
That's the librarian in me. I have to do research every time. For every title, it's just the librarian in me to do research and make sure I cover as much as possible, and also stuff that you probably might not have known. In like Chinese interviews or Chinese articles. Those are the things that Westerners would never have access to unless they know the language.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's awesome. I hope they keep you forever. 88 Films Eureka Studios. Are you hearing me? Keep Frank forever. Have Frank commentate everything. You got me? All right. So, this documentary, man, I'm excited. Now, we love our brother Rick, and I totally understand. I totally get Rick's side of why Bruceploitation is not his thing. I get it. I get it. But some of it's just too much fun. It's so over the top and fun.
Bruce Jelly Fingers?
I never took Bruceploitation seriously, though. That's the thing. Like I never took it seriously in terms of I was just like, okay, it's just this goofy popcorn entertainment fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Like some of the fights are really good, though.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're watching it for the fights, for the entertainment, right? We're not like comparing it like verbatim, like this Exit the Dragon or Enter the Tiger or whatever it's called is just as good as Enter the Dragon. No, we're not even comparing them to, right? It's its own thing. That's why it's its own genre. And some of it's a blast. So I can't wait to let's talk about this documentary we got going here.
So several people have tried to do this kind of documentary. I mean, they've always tried to they want to do this Bruceploitation film documentary, or on the 70s movie stars, 70s martial art films, because after Bruce died, there's still tons of martial art films being made from both Hong Kong and Taiwan.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, Rick tried to do it himself. Rick actually started a Kickstarter. And he was trying to raise funds to do this kind of documentary, but I don't. Yeah, it fell through.
Based on Bruceploitation or just the 1970s movie?
Well, I think a little bit of both. He was trying to like interview like Shaw Brothers star, like Gordon Liu, like trying to talk about basically the history.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so he actually did a Kickstarter on it, but
it
didn't need to go. So
okay.
So what happened was, so Severin Films, David from Severin Films, approached me. I forgot how he got hold of me. I honestly don't remember like how he got hold of me. But anyway, he told me that he was trying to do this documentary on Bruceploitation films, and he was asking whether I'll be able to. And then he was asking whether I want to be a co-producer. And my main job is to help him get the talent that he wanted to interview. So I said, sure. I'll try to do as much as I can. I mean, like, who do you want to interview? Yeah. And he started giving me this list. It's like, oh my god, Yasuaki Kurata, Sammo Hung, Yun Bill, David Chang, all the Bruce Lee clones, all four of them. I said, wow, this I'll try. I said, and I know people in Hong Kong that can probably find them, and so we'll see. And I said, I just so happened that I go, I go to Hong Kong every year to spend my vacation. And so how about this? Like on my next trip, we'll see if I can start finding some of these people and start interviewing them.
Yeah.
So once I got there, it was like just like that, and I found Bruce Lam. Right away, I found Bruce Lam. It's like, and he said yes. He said yes, awesome. And then so he had this friend who had this little winery shop somewhere in this industrial building in Hong Kong. That's why he saw all these wine. And he's talked for 4 hours. He turned out to be like a nice, really nice guy. He really enjoyed it. He felt really appreciated that we have, some people still remember his work back in the 70s and stuff. So he felt really appreciative. And so he was like, he was open. He was telling us stories about his works and stuff. So I thought, wow, this is not for a first interview, this wasn't bad at all.
Right.
And so then I started contacting other people. So the next up was Yasuaki Kurata. Yasuaki Kurata-san has a dojo in Hong Kong. His daughter runs it, but he's there. He traveled between Japan and Hong Kong, but he has a dojo in Hong Kong.
Man, and that's when we went meeting all these legends, man.
Yeah,
Kurata's so good. This guy,
I know, he's
Kurata
so good.
Right now could kick my ass.
Yeah, I know. Okay, he can kick everybody's ass. And there's a funny story too. When we went to set up our gear, we had like a little skeleton crew. We have a cameraman and a sound guy.
Right.
So we got there and we tried to hook up the stuff to use the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
We burned the fuse at the dojo.
Oh.
Because I think it was something, Hong Kong is like 220 watts, and then I think some of the gear that the guys are from LA, so they were bringing stuff that were like 110 watt, and so
right.
So that somehow burned the fuse, and so they're trying to fix it. Luckily, one of them was like an electrician. He's trying to fix it. For the next 45 minutes, we were on our toes and nails. We were worried. Oh my god, we burned Kurata-san's fuse box at his dojo. So while the sound man was trying to fix it, Kurata was all cool. He was just stretching out on his mat, out, like waiting. He's all calm and cool and just waiting for us to fix it. Luckily, we were able to fix the fuse. And so we were able to interview him. Yeah, but he knew he knew Cantonese because he'd been in Hong Kong so many years. So I would actually ask him my questions in Cantonese, and he would answer in Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah. So you see that wall there? You see that wall with the skies?
Yeah.
Okinawa's that's the Okinawa martial arts weapon right there, hanging there.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
That is
he used one of those in Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars when he fought Sammo Hung. Yeah.
Nice. How cool is that?
So then we started branching out.
The tennis racket fight.
I know the tennis racket. Yeah.
Let me rewind a little bit. Hold on. I forgot to mention this. Sorry, I had to fanboy out here. Bruce Liang is a badass. He is amazing. And man, what a performance in Kung Fu Hustle. Is that everyone's favorite
I'm pretty sure
Bruce
Kung Fu
Liang
Yeah.
role in terms of role? Is that like their favorite role
Oh
for that
yeah,
guy?
I think so because
So
because
good.
because he got both young and new generation of old and new generation of fans.
Yeah.
People like the younger fans wouldn't know him from all those movies that he did in the 70s. Also, he did a lot of TV work,
Right.
in Hong Kong back then. But if you go back to the picture, you notice the knuckles. You take a look at those knuckles on this. See those knuckles there?
Oh
Those are
man.
all swollen from all those
Woo.
fighting over the years. So you might not see them clearly in the picture, but
I
on
can see
close up,
him. Oh, I can see him.
yeah, it's like you see how big those knuckles are right there?
Man.
Yeah, yeah,
Hitting
those
some
are
bricks.
permanent. hmm Yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Phenomenal. But
hmm
yeah, keep going. Keep going.
So,
This is
so
fun.
anyway, so after karate, we did karate until we started branching out. We started at luckily, my we have a business partner in Hong Kong who used to work at Shaw. He actually started his career in Shaw Brothers. He's now his own, he's his own film distributor company. He made films and stuff.
Yeah.
So he has connection to some of the Shaw people, and that's how I was able to get Lo Mang and David Chang.
Man. Yeah, two more legends here. Hold on, let me get the
Yeah.
photo here. Trying to find the photo. But yeah, David Chang. What's some of your favorite David Chang movies?
David Chang movie. Wow. Shadow Manta is definitely one of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
that ending
Yeah.
blew my
hmm
mind.
Yeah. And
That
then
ending blew my mind.
yeah, the ending blew my mind. That's a great ending. It's like 10 minutes of nonstop action. Of course,
Yeah.
he was in he was in the new One Armed Swordsman. One of those.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah.
it. I got it.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, we interviewed him at this restaurant in Wan Chai, Hong Kong side. So he came in, did his stuff. He spoke English.
Oh.
He speaks very good English. So it just so happened because David, the Severin Films guy, was also trying to get David Chang to talk about the movie that he did, the co-production with Shaw Brothers and Hammer Films,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah, that's
vampire
right.
film. What was
Yeah.
it called? Seven
Legend
Golden
of
Vampires.
Yeah, Legend of the
Legend
Seven.
of the Golden Vampire.
Yeah.
Legend of the Golden Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to being interviewed for our documentary, he also did a little snippet on that, and then talked about working with Peter Cushing and all that. And he spoke
Yeah.
perfect English. His family's all educated. His half brother Paul Chung, Derek Yee. They're all in the film business. They're all Paul. Derek Yee is a great director and actor
Oh
himself, and
yeah.
so
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
So yeah,
But Dave
he was
Chang is phenomenal. The new One Armed Swordsman, the fight on the bridge is just
yeah.
it's just so good. And
Yeah.
what do you call it? Don't forget about the Iron Triangle, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the T
yeah.
Long and David Chang,
You want
Chang
to give a
Chang,
Chang,
and
exactly, and then from
La
Chang,
Leong, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Iron
and then
Triangle.
so after that we were and then Lo Mang was a whole you look at that Daffy, he was wearing this Daffy
I
Duck
was like, yeah,
outfit.
he's styling there. What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know, he just show up like that. He just show up. He just show up like that, and then he talk. He mostly talk about working at Shaw, but
Yeah.
how he loved doing Kid with the Golden Arm.
Oh,
And how he has so many fans overseas. He still travel. I mean, before COVID, he was still traveling a lot to all these different places, like in New York, East Coast, and all that. He has so many fans out there. So he's very aware.
He's
He's
great.
very aware of his reputation, his popularity
Yeah.
in the U.S. or in the Western world. So he kind of played it to the hill. But he's great. He's fantastic. He's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Maybe one day I'll get him here on the show. That'd be great.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
Lo Mang, he's one of the Venoms, man. Come on. But yeah, I actually have a Kid with the Golden Arm poster.
Oh
Actually,
yeah.
I got lucky and I got a poster. But yeah,
Nice.
fantastic stuff. Let's
Yeah.
keep it rocking and rolling. So you ran into the other Bruce Exploitation stars as well.
Yep. We ran into two more. Well, technically four, but I'll talk about them, one by one. So this is, of course, Bruce Lee.
Is he who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite, or you like all of them?
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I think he really took the job seriously.
Yeah.
He tried to. I think he tried to give dignity and respect to the role. He didn't try to parody it. He didn't try to stereotype it. He tried to. He tried to make it work. He tried to make it legitimate, right? Even though obviously some of the films that he did was kind of kind of campy, but I think he was He was my favorite among the four. He's in Taiwan. He's in southern Taiwan. So
okay.
he retired from acting after his wife died, so he can he left the film industry in early 80s or mid 80s.
Right.
So he can go back to Taiwan and take care of his kids because his wife passed away.
Oh wow!
And he never left. He went back to Pingdong. Pingdong is one of the big city in southern Taiwan.
Yeah.
So to go see him, you have to go there. So I flew to Taipei, took the high-speed rail down to down south to meet him. And I actually went back the next year to interview him a little bit more because David felt that we could ask for some more material from him.
Right. Okay.
So that he's the only person that we interviewed him twice for the documentary. So
he was really nice.
He's really nice, very nice guy. He's a really nice guy.
He had a Wing Chun background as well.
He definitely had Wing Chun background. He still teaches Kung Fu on Sundays afternoon for free. He has his own clinic. So we will meet him at this park in the city.
Nice.
And because every Sunday afternoon he would teach Kung Fu for free. And then afterwards he would go back to his clinic. He has a clinic. He's like a Chinese medicine herbal clinic nearby.
Right.
So that's like his job now. That's like his job. So he would cure people. He's kind of like, like Wong Fei Hong. So
yeah, it's good.
All right. Wong Fei Hong.
He's the Wong Fei Hong of this era.
But he still wanted to act because, like, the second time when I went back to interview him, I asked him, "Were you still interested in acting?"
He misses it.
He kind of missed it. He said, the first time you came, the first year we went, he didn't miss it. But then he said but then afterwards, he said more people started coming here to talk to him, and he kind of started having this bug that you know what, I wouldn't mind going back and work in the film industry again. But of course, this was the last time I interviewed him was 4 years ago. So he's in his mid-70s now. So who knows?
Hey, come on, somebody give him a cameo or have him do a fight scene. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, Chu Chi Ling can still work. And Chu Chi Ling from Kung Fu Hustle, the tailor guy, if he can still work right now, he's still working. So he's still teaching.
That guy's a badass too.
That guy's a badass. Yeah.
I'm going to show his picture in a second here, but let's get to the other Bruce Lee. So you got Bruce Liang, Bruce Lee.
Okay, so Dragon Lee I didn't meet. Dragon Lee was in Korea. So the other producer went to Korea to
do Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee. Now Bruce Lee, however, is a totally different story.
All right.
He would not agree to do an interview. For whatever reason. He just said no. And that picture happened because I bumped into him at Film Mart in Hong Kong. Okay. Apparently he would go to the Hong Kong Film Mart. He was making films, he was making films in China, so he would try to sell his film in Hong Kong at the Film Mart.
Okay.
And I bumped into him. And so I tried an hour to persuade him to do the interview, and he still said, later. He never said why he wouldn't want to do it. He kept telling me, right now is not the time. Now is not the time. We even said, we'll pay you. He said, no, not the money. It's not the money. Later. Or now it's not the time. Mm-hmm. And we tried, but we just couldn't get him to talk yet. And we've been trying for the past 5 years. We started doing this back in November of 2016. So it's now what, August now, almost 2021. Yeah.
Maybe he'll give in at some point.
Maybe, hopefully. So he's one of the two last holdouts for the documentary. The other person is mainly for health reason. The other person said, "I'm not going to do it until COVID is over." So yeah.
Gotcha. I can understand that. But come on, Bruce Lee, it's for the documentary, man. It's for your fans. Come on, you could do it. But yeah, that one here's the photo of the.
That's Chu Chi Ling, yeah.
Kung Fu Hustle. And the Fat Dragon as well.
Yeah, and the Fat Dragon, the Mermaid, Winners and Sinners.
Yeah. Another badass right there.
Nice guy. He lives in Alameda. He lives 10 minutes away from me. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so was this I see Comic-Con in the background.
This was back in Comic-Con when he was there to promote Kung Fu Hustle. I actually met him much more recently back in April to interview him for the documentary.
How cool is that?
We stopped, we stopped the project because of COVID.
Okay.
So we really want to do in person to person. We don't want to do any remote interviewing. It has to be in person.
Yeah. Two questions before my old man brain deletes them. One, do you know what happened to Hong Kong Legends?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't follow like I know. I mean, I heard of them obviously. Hong Kong Legends. I have some of the titles. I have like Eastern Heroes and a
Yeah,
lot of
I bought several of their stuff, and then they
right.
just disappeared. And I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah,
It's
I
strange.
yeah, I'm aware of them, but I really
Yeah.
don't follow. I
Okay.
mean, there's this whole community of people who know so much. Okay, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
always surprised by, especially some of the Brits who know more about these things than I do. I'll be honest with you.
Oh wow.
I know there's this British guy that I know who knows everything about Si Yun that I would ever know. So it's like their passion, their enthusiasm, just it's just so big that they would actually go and
Right.
do all this research and get themselves familiar with these people's history,
Right.
their
That's
career to the
good.
point where and
Yeah.
like I wouldn't know this. So I
I thought I'd give it a shot because
right,
it was really good quality, their DVDs, and then all of a sudden I was like, what happened? They're just
yeah,
gone, so that sucks. But anyway, we got 88 films in Eureka now, so as long as we're keeping it going and remastering those classics, even better now. I mean,
hmm
the Hong Kong Legends, those were just DVDs; they weren't even Blu-rays.
right.
My
What was the
other
other
question.
question?
My other question. Bruce, we were mentioning earlier Bruce Lee, how some movies he made was good and some were goofy, right? Which happens, right? But did he have a limit? Did he have like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that movie, but I'll do this movie. Did he have like a limit? Like you're like, nah,
Well,
because
that's why he kind
I
of walked
noticed.
away. That's why he kind of walked away. I mean, of
Okay,
course, his wife's death was a major reason, but by
right,
then he was getting tired of it. Like by the early '80s,
right,
he was
because I
yeah.
noticed the Clones of Bruce Lee movie he was not in.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that Dragon Lee, everybody else was in the Clones of Bruce Lee, but he wasn't
Right,
in there. And I always
right,
wondered, why isn't Bruce Lee in here? I mean, it's not like it's a
yeah,
good movie, but I was just like, why isn't he in there? And
right. No, he would look at the
did he
script.
just like screw that? I'm just I'm
Yo,
not
he
going to
would.
do it.
No. He would turn down offers. Yes, he told
Okay,
us.
that makes sense.
He said, "We look at the script and said, this is not Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee
Okay.
wouldn't have done this, or Bruce Lee wouldn't be like this." You know,
All I remember is watching Clones of Bruce Lee, and it's just like Bruce Lee #2. I need you to face Bruce Lee #5. Yes, it was hilarious.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, we'll go ahead and keep talking about the documentary.
Yeah, so and anyway, after COVID, we kind of put a stop to it.
Yeah.
We have to kind of put the project on hold, but mainly of course we were waiting out on Bruce Lee. And then once we resumed, we started looking around to see who else we can interview. So we interviewed Matt Chuchi Ling, like I mentioned, and then of course Cynthia Rothrock. Cynthia Rothrock was more because obviously, well, also Eric Zhang. Eric Zhang was a coincidence. But yeah, let's talk about Cynthia Rothrock. Well, we can talk about Rothrock first. So the reason, the main thing to reach out to Cynthia Rothrock, of course, is to do the extras for the Millionaires Express Blu-ray for Eureka.
Right.
But then it was also decided, you know what, she could be a good contributor to our documentary because we were seriously lacking female interviewees. Most of the people that we interviewed were guys.
Yeah.
So we really wanted a more female perspective. We were able to get Angela Mao, thank goodness. Angela Mao. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I saw your
Yeah,
photo.
Angela Mao, she had his own nice little Taiwanese, Shanghainese shop. And that's in Shenyang. Okay.
Angela Mao.
That's Angela Mao.
What happened? What happened? I mean, man, I know they get older, but she retired and she does have a restaurant, right?
She has a restaurant. And actually, the restaurant, at first she was reluctant to be recognized. She hated it. When people say, "Hey, aren't you Angela Mao?" She hated it. Said, "No, I'm not Angela Mao." But then as she grew older, I think she began to realize she has a legacy. She began to appreciate what she's done.
Legend.
And she began to I kind of did good back then. And of course, her kids were also very, her kids were big fans of her works. And her kids was like, you know what, you should really embrace this. This is, you had a great career in the film. And
it's some great movies, and she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
She is a legend, man.
She's a legend.
Is this the restaurant right here?
This is the hot pot restaurant next to her restaurant.
Okay.
So what happened was she has this restaurant in Queens, right?
Okay.
It's mostly Taiwanese and Shanghainese, northern Chinese cuisine. Fantastic food. Best soy milk best soybean curd milk you ever had. Okay, so I mean best soybean curd soup you ever had. Anyway, so she had that restaurant there, and now it's expanded to Manhattan. They have she now has 4 in Manhattan. So her business has grown so much. And I'm sure her the fact that it was the fact that it was run by Angela Mao probably contributed to it. But it's just the fact that the food is just so good. So anyway, so by the time we reach out to her, I reach out to her son. I found a contact for her son. Her son was very enthusiastic, and and so she agreed to do the interview, and she was fantastic. And then I met her later too when we Subway Cinema did a tribute to her at the Old School Kung Fu Film Festival in New York in 2017, and I went out there to meet her again, present her with the award and all that stuff. So that was good. That was cool. She's great. She's just wonderful. Yeah.
Nice. All right, we can play this now.
So that's Yun Chang Yang. That's Yun Chang Yang, of course, famous martial arts choreographer. One of the Yun brothers, Yun Wo-ping's brother.
Yeah.
Is
he still acting? Is he still in stuff?
I don't think so. I think he's retired. Okay. I bumped into him at a movie theater when I went to see a movie. And then when I left the theater, I was watching a theater with my nephew. And then when we left the theater, my nephew is also a huge Hong Kong film fan, thanks to me, thanks to his uncle, me. So anyway, so when we left the theater, we saw him. We said, hey, isn't that, that's Yun Chang Yang, right? Yeah, let's go, say hi, take a picture. So there you go. Yeah.
That's awesome. Was it Kung Fu Hustle?
He did a lot of like Dreadnought, Forbidden City Cop. He did all these choreographies, action choreography, Miracle Fighters, you name it. So
I mean, for his last movie or maybe.
The last movie. Yeah, he was in Kung Fu Hustle. He was a bagger at the end that showed the kids all those Kung Fu manuals.
Little small.
So that could be one of his last movies. Yeah. He's in his 70s now. So I mean, he's late 70s now.
Another legend. But yeah, let's keep talking.
So, but we should get to John Woo.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
and then we'll have fun. We'll have fun with your other photos after that because I got them all in here. We got them.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll John because it's a story about John Woo.
Exclusive John Woo story from the Master Remaster, Frank Djeng. You're getting it right here, right now. Let me just find it. Hold on. Boom.
So this was the first trade show I went at, when I started working at Tai Seng. This is 2 months after I started working at Tai Seng. They had right. Yeah. So we have this VSDA show. So we went there, and Fox Lorber, this is a distributor, it's like a niche film, art film, independent film distributor, has a booth, and they were releasing this box set of The Killer and Hard Boiled, and they invited John Woo there. So went to see him. He autographed this. This is
nice.
So. This is from Hard Boil, obviously. So you can see at the bottom it says, Fox Lorber home video release right there.
Right. Well, let me blow it up. Hold on.
Right. Okay.
Blow it up. Okay.
Here we go.
There we go.
So that's it right there. So he signed it, but there's a story about Fox Lorber.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the story. About a year before I started working for Tai Seng, Fox Lorber went to see Helen, the general manager of Tai Seng.
Okay.
And Helen being receptive to people that are interested in Hong Kong film, of course, met with them, and they were saying, we love Hong Kong film, blah blah blah. We're going to Hong Kong, we'd like to see some of these, we'd like to meet some of these talents and stuff, filmmakers. Can you give us the contact for Cinema City, Shaw Brothers, some of the studios, contact information. So Helen gave them the contact information, and a few months later, when the Hard Boil came out, Hard Boil was coming out, and they were trying to get it for the English market. They were told, "Oh no, Hard Boil has been sold," and Helen was shocked. She said, "Well, to who? Who else would buy this stuff?" And the response was, "Well, this company named Fox Lorber bought it. They went to Cinema City and negotiated for it, and they bought it." And so, Helen was very upset.
Oh man.
She felt betrayed, because they didn't, obviously, the guy at Fox Lorber didn't tell her that, we wanted the information so we can actually negotiate to buy films from them, and thus became a competitor to Tai Seng. And And that's really what prompted Helen to start this English department. He said, you know what, we're going to start our own department. We're going to start selling this to, ourselves to the English speaking market. So that's how the English department was born. So anyway, so this led to Fox Lorber having a booth with John Woo there, and Helen actually went over to the Fox Lorber booth and kind of like, you guys are bad, you guys would betray us and stuff, and they just laugh. They just smile.
Right.
What can they say?
Right.
It's business, but still. So that's the backstory about John Woo. Although another little funny story was, I didn't know at that time that John Woo hated Anthony Wong, the bad guy in Hard Boiled.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was talking with him, at the show, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, I just said, you know what, Mr. Woo, I think, Anthony Wong was great in Hard Boiled. I think you should hire him to do more of your movies. And he just like gave me the slide, the sneakiest of smile. At that time, I didn't know why. He just stopped talking. He didn't say any other words after I said that. He didn't say thank you, whatever. He just smiled like that, and I just walk away. I thank him, walk away. And only later did I find out that he actually had this big fight with Anthony Wong on Hard Boiled, and he vowed never to work with Anthony Wong ever again. And so, so me mentioning Anthony Wong to him and telling, you know what, you should keep hiring him. You should have him.
That's
he was a great bad guy. He was a great villain. You should have him more in your movie.
Yeah,
that kind of that rubbed him the wrong way.
You didn't know.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What is Anthony Wong? I mean, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Wong too, but is he known to be kind of a diva, or that maybe they just?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he's a method actor. What
I got
right,
you.
right. So he's method actors can obviously be opinionated and want to have his own ideas. The funny thing about Anthony Wong, though, Tai Seng released Untold Story back then.
Okay.
Bunman, right? Untold Story. And when we initially, it was bought as a package deal. It's not like Tai Seng deliberately went out to buy Untold Story. It came with another movie. Like they were saying, oh, you want this movie? Sure, but you have to have Untold Story. Right. So, and Tai Seng, the management was like, we really don't want to release this. It's like this gory, politically incorrect film. What if we start getting all these conservatives, complaints from Christians, conservative, and then I started asking other people. I said, hey, what do you guys? Hey guys, I started asking some of the fans that I started contacting, communicating.
Right.
And asked them, hey guys, what do you think about Tai Seng releasing Untold Story? And the response I got was, not only must you release Untold Story, you must release it uncut. so I, we back, and I persuaded management, you know what, we got to release it. It has to be uncut. To sell it, it has to be uncut. So I finally persuaded management to get the uncut version from the film owner, and I look at it, oh yeah, this is bad, bad stuff, nasty stuff. But hey, it's great stuff too, Anthony Wong. Anyway, so we released it first on VHS, then Laserdisc, and eventually DVD. And amazingly, we never got a single complaint from anyone.
Yeah,
we bought tons and tons of them.
Yeah,
not a single complaint. Not like no one wrote a letter to us, no one called us, no one emailed us and said, I think Tai Seng is a horrible company by releasing such a violent film that depicts these brutality toward children and women. None. Zero. Yeah.
That's how it should be.
That's
for adults anyway.
This is the way. This is the way. Yeah.
Nice. And speaking of Untold Story, I think it's on Hi-Ya. It might be.
Is it on Hi-Ya already?
I think it's either Hi. Actually, you know what? I think it's Shudder. I think it's on Shudder.
Okay.
Which has that's a horror app.
Right.
So I think it's on there. So
okay. All I know is that like European distributors who release Untold Story.
Yeah.
Always like there have been several European distributors who release, I think France or Germany. They will always come to me and said, "Is it okay if we include the commentaries you guys did on the Tai Seng Laserdisc?" And because we did one with Anthony Wong and we did one with the director Herman Yao. I said, you know what? Tai Seng's gone. Take it.
Yeah. Wow, what a story! It's kind of screwed up. And you said it was Fox Lorber, right?
Fox Lorber. I don't think they're still around anymore. I think. Oh, either that. Oh no, Fox Lorber eventually became Kino Lorber.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
still around.
Well, I don't
Okay.
think the people who used to run Fox Lorber is with Kino now.
Kino Lorber is a whole new team now.
Right, and I love Kino Lorber titles.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a
so
lot of the titles.
yeah, that sucks about Fox Lorber doing what they did there. Oops, sorry, I accidentally clicked on that. I didn't mean to click on that. Sorry. Oh man, oops. Itchy fingers over here. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Fox Lorber, they're gone. Hold on, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click on that either. Sorry, my mistake. All right, let's keep talking, man.
Okay. What else do you want to talk about? What else do you want to talk about?
All right. So I'm looking forward to the documentary whenever you guys get around to wrapping it up and finishing.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be an end to it. I think sooner or later, David and I will have to decide. You know what? That's it. We can't wait any longer. The documentary is 90% done, all edited, subtitled, what have you. All
Yes.
But there's 2 spots left. One spot for the other person that we want to interview. Okay. One spot for Bruce Lee. And really, we really can't do it without Bruce Lee, to be honest with you. I think, we need his side of the story, so to speak. Right. So that's why we've been holding out. That's why I've been waiting for him.
I know you don't want it, but maybe audio only? Maybe over the phone?
One of the options. No. That was one of the options I brought up to him. And he thought about it, then he still said no. At that time, when I saw him, I brought that up.
If whenever you guys get around to revisiting it to him, he might be okay with over the phone.
No, we gave him the option. We said you can do audio only. Yeah, we gave him all the options.
Okay.
And he still said later. He never turned us down right away. He never said no, right? He never said. I told you. Yeah. He never said don't contact me anymore. No, he never said that. He kept saying later. Now is not the time. So.
Right. Master Chaos TV just showed up. He says Frank is the man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so let's have some fun with some of these photos you sent me here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Got some, and then this is during the premiere of City Hunter.
Yeah, that's one. That's the trade show. That's like in either the 97 or the 98 trade show that we do. These are the trade convention shows. So that's Helen there in the front on the right. That's the manager, the general manager of Tai Seng, and that's Linda. Right. That's the marketing manager that hired me. They interviewed me and hired me on the left. She actually left about a year after I joined Tai Seng, and she went. She left. And the funny thing, it was funny when she told me the reason. She told me, you know what, I can't be selling videotapes and laserdiscs and TVs forever. And I thought that was the oddest reason for leaving a job.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Did she hint on what she's going to do after this?
I think she went to Charles Schwab's actually. At that time, I don't know what she's doing now. I lost contact with her, but yeah, that's Gary. That's Gary Daniels from City Hunter, Jackie Chan City Hunter. Mm-hmm. I think we actually had him on our Comic-Con panel too. I think when we did when we showed
during that time.
Yeah, it's around that time. I mean, he's in LA, so it's very easy for him to go to San Diego.
He's got Eastern Condors, the Young Master posters, Heart of Dragon, Wing Chun.
Yeah, and then Lazarov of Chivalry right behind Linda there, and you see Heart of Dragon. Yeah, classics. So this will have to be. Yeah, this will have to be 1997, I think. Yeah.
So was this? Was there a certain release of Millionaires Express back in the day? Is that how you ran into Bolo here?
No, Bolo was there to promote some other movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was for a different company, and some I forgot which movie he was promoting.
I see a fighter and a 2. So I'm gonna say it's Shoot Fighter.
Yes, probably. Yeah, probably.
Shoot Fighter. Yeah.
Right. So I just went up to him, took a picture, and he autographed the picture. He didn't. He's a man of few words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize his. I mean, that's really awesome. You met Bolo. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I did not know that his son was legit martial arts guy, and his son's a bodybuilder too, just like him. I had no idea.
Yeah, and we thought about interviewing him for the documentary too.
You should.
But we can. We should. But he has some precondition that we have to think about. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you don't have to. We'll keep it on the hush here.
All right.
Well, hopefully you get them. If not, you guys will. It's still going to be an awesome documentary. I'm sure it's 90% done. It's going to be awesome. We're gonna. the movie dojo here. We're gonna spread the word whenever it comes out. You know how we do here. We're gonna let everybody know about it. Spread the word of awesomeness. But yeah, I didn't know his son was legit. I was like, holy crap, he's legit too, just like his dad. Yeah. So yeah, I mentioned you mentioned.
Ronnie Yu, yeah,
Ronnie Yu, man.
yeah, probably right here. Yeah, this is great. So when I started at Tai Seng, they were already working on several titles at that time, right? So when I got there, they were finishing up Heroic Trio and Executioners. So those weren't kind of not really my titles because when I started, those are already done. Those are going to press. They're going to be pressed on Laserdisc and stuff. So
yeah.
And after Heroic Trio and Executioners, the next title was The Bride with White Hair. So The Bride with White Hair was really the first title that I officially produced for Tai Seng. And by then I was already really deep into Criterion stuff. I noticed what Criterion has been doing on their Laserdisc with commentary, bonus feature and stuff. And I thought, you know what? Yeah. Why don't we do that? Why don't we?
That was the one to get. That was a big seller for Criterion Laserdisc because it was uncut.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a huge deal.
And so I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we do something like Criterion? Make a lavish packaging and stuff. It first came out on Laserdisc, right? So, sorry, that's my wife. Sorry. So anyway,
isn't that what you do when dishes drop? You clap.
So,
is she okay?
She's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Are you okay? Yeah, she's fine. So when we first released Bride White Hair on VHS and Laserdisc, the Laserdisc just just a nice little package, 2-disc set and stuff. So by the time we got to DVD, by then Criterion was in kind of full swing with the commentary and so on. So why don't we try to do commentaries? And it just so happened I was able to, reach out to both Ronnie Yu and Peter Powell. Peter Powell is the Peter Powell came later for the Phantom Lover, but yeah, Ronnie Yu, the director, because he was working on his kangaroo movie Warrior of Virtue at that time, so it was in Toronto.
I still need to see that.
I know, me too. It's on YouTube, but
that's one of those. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, but not very good quality. But yeah, so anyway, that movie seriously need a legit video release. But so anyway, so he was working. He was shooting Warrior of Virtue in Canada. So we were able to, I was able to fly to Toronto and get him to record audio commentary for both Bride with White Hair and Legacy of Rage. Because we were doing Legacy of Rage, the Brandon Lee movie, which he also directed.
Yeah.
So that's how I got hold of him. And of course, when Eureka did Bride with White Hair, I said, you know what, we got to reach out to him again, have him do a brand new interview.
I love that hair you're sporting.
Oh, thank you. I couldn't,
it's flowing.
It's flowing, yeah. And I wouldn't be able to stand that kind of hair right now. I just love it. Yeah. But back then,
that's
I don't
awesome.
know.
You met him, man. That's really cool. And people forget, man. It's like people forget that he was kind of the reason for a small, shorter period of time there of kind of the renaissance of horror icons.
Oh yeah,
the resurrection of horror icons. Bride of Chucky.
Both Jason and two franchises.
Yeah, Chucky franchise was dead.
Yeah,
and he in Bride of Chucky was very popular. It brought it new life, and especially Freddy versus Jason. People don't realize that.
Yeah, he keep it. Yeah, he. No, people love his horror stuff. Yeah.
I've got one question here. Hold on. All right. I would like to know about Frank's process in condensing TV series like Kung Fu Master and Fist of Fury. Epic commentaries on both.
Well, I didn't do commentaries on them. I did. You know what? I did. I think I did. I did it with Rick. Oh yeah. No, that's a good question. So back then there were, we were condensing TV series and making them into like a TV movie stuff. So those two were Donnie Yen.
I had both of those. Yeah.
yeah, both of those. So those are originally like 30 episode, 40 episode. And I think our editors in Hong Kong did a great job condensing them into like a 4-hour movie. I think it was like 3 hours for Kung Fu Master and 2 hours for Fury. I think they did a tremendous job. I think that was great. And I think we even have Donnie Yen did commentaries on both of them. Yeah. So, but I think we also did one. I think Rick and I and maybe Bobby Samuel did one for Kung Fu Master. And I think Fist of Fury, I did it with Robin Shaw on Fist of Fury.
Right.
And then for Kung Fu Master, I think I did it with Rick Myers and Bobby. So those are fun commentaries. Just so you guys know, that all these commentaries that I'm doing right now, they are done at home. I don't go to a studio. These are all done at home now. Thanks to technology, I was able to do them at home. You no need to rent a studio. So I guess that's why they like me, because I'm so cheap.
This guy.
Oh yeah. You just use Frank. We can save on the studio cost.
Hey, we don't have to pay for a plane ticket or nothing. You just
pay for transportation. You have to pay for studio. Studio ain't cheap. It's like we're talking about $300 an hour too. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, I have all you need is really, that's Bobby Samuel. Yeah,
that's a cool picture.
Yeah, that's cool. So this was taken from one of those audio commentary sessions we did at Rick's home. At that time, he was living in a trailer park. He has a wonderful trailer. It's just a nice trailer, very comfortable, very homey. I even stay overnight.
Is that the trailer we're looking at right now?
Yeah, he's living in an RV at that time, right?
So he's got all those badass posters and
badass posters, yeah, behind. But yeah, I love his
How cool is that?
Yeah, I love his RV home, and I was kind of sad when he told me, you know what, I'm moving out. I'm gonna live in a home, an actual home, like a house.
Yeah.
Because I said, oh man, I love your RV home. That would have
been our RV home too. We would have the same thing, posters hanging up.
Oh yeah,
man.
So, but anyway, so what happened was, back then we were doing quite a lot of these commentaries. Again, not at a studio. We just had this sound technician guy, Scooter, is a great guy. Scooter would bring his digital audio tape recorder and the mics to Rick's home. So me, Bobby, and Rick would just sit all together, watch it. Scooter, the sound technician, would just watch the time codes and stuff, and we just chat, just talk. And sometimes we even eat. We were eating while we were doing comedy. We just thought it was kind of fun to eat and talk. It was just we were having a good time. So those commentaries were done that way back then, especially for like Kung Fu Master.
All right, copy that. All right.
In fact, I'll probably go to work with Bobby again on future commentary for Eureka. So.
Oh, nice. That would be great. With both of you together, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Johnny Toe. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where did you meet this legend?
So this was 2017. San Francisco Film Society did a retrospective on Johnny Toe.
Nice.
And it was like a week-long retrospective of his film. But he was only there in person for one night.
Okay.
For like the Q&A. So, hell yeah. And at that time, we were trying to, I was still with New Asian Film Festival at that time. And so, I was also trying to see if he's interested in becoming, a guest for the next year, the next festival. So I went to the Q&A thing. And it was a very frustrating event because they had some intern or some college student who obviously had no knowledge of Johnny Toe's works. No knowledge of film, no knowledge of Hong Kong. I think
probably thought he was Lou Dam Phillips.
Well, probably. And her, she was the interpreter for Johnny, right?
Right.
And her interpretation was so horrible. I got so mad. I was just sitting. I was like two rows. I was sitting in like the second row. Okay, I was like it's close to the stage, and myself being an interpreter, obviously, I kind of like, I have this professional view of how certain lines should be translated.
Right.
And right away I knew this lady, she's not worthy of doing this for Johnny, with no knowledge of film, no knowledge of his works. Like when she didn't even know the English title of the film, like he was talking about like, I think The Longest Night or some other.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, a great movie, Longest Night.
Yeah.
So I think she didn't realize. He was saying it in Chinese, of course, and she didn't realize, she didn't know the film's English title. So she just literally translated the Chinese title, which was Dark Flower.
Wow.
And I got so mad. I actually blurted out, it's The Longest Night. Right there. Yeah. And Johnny just looked at me. And then, they were shocked that somebody would respond like that. I just couldn't stand it, So anyway, they continue.
Right.
And then afterwards, I actually went backstage and introduced myself, saying, I'm from the New York Asian Film Festival, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I met him. And we had a great time. We chatted for about 10 minutes. It could have gone on forever, but, with things like this, there's always like people they were trying to tear him away. You know, like when oh, we gotta go. You know, Johnny really has to go, and I hate shit like that. But okay. So anyway, so we talk about Election 3, how he said, oh, the script is done, but I couldn't make Election 3. If I make Election 3, I'll be disappeared.
Oh shit!
Because what I talk about in Election 3 is actually happening in Hong Kong right now. I think he's hinting, about like triads and how. The idea that maybe triads and Hong Kong police are working together and all that stuff.
Right.
And then also, I told him that Throwdown is my favorite Johnny To film. His eye just his eyes open up. He really want to talk more because like when they started dragging him away, we got to go. Johnny has to eat. He was looking at me. It's almost like he want to ask, would you like to join me? But of course, he's not the host, so.
He's looking at you. He's like, Frank, save me.
Oh, Frank, exactly. Frank saved me. So I wish I could have talked to him more. But I mean, just the fact that he told me about Election 3 and how
Exiled.
Exile and how much
love Exiled.
And how much he liked the he's so glad that and he kept telling me like when I told him about this film and he said, oh, he says all white guy fight, not me, all white. He gave credit to white guy fight all the time. He just feel that a lot of the success of his movies had to do with his fellow collaborator white guy fight.
Right. Still, they're both talented, but that's really awesome. You got a chance to meet him, man.
Yeah,
maybe I know Rick still wants to do a versus in the future with a Johnny To versus. I know he wanted to do that in the future.
When he first asked me to do versus, right? I told you, I don't know when I told you the story, right? I mean, when he asked me, Frank, do you want to do versus? I said versus. Well, but I've never seen the film.
Oh,
I thought it was referring to the Japanese, the zombie action.
The Sakaguchi movie, yeah.
Yeah, I guess Sakaguchi movie. So and then only like after like a minute. Oh, okay, I know what you mean now. Versus, okay, yeah. So, I always love doing. Versus.
I can't wait to watch PTU. I've never seen it.
PTU is a great.
I bought the new Blu-ray release, so I can't wait.
It's a wonderful joint. It's a one of a kind film, really. I mean, and like before, I kept saying Throwdown is my favorite Johnny To film. But as I watch PTU more and more, I'm going to say, you know what, PTU might be equally a masterpiece as Throwdown. And I kind of felt I let down myself in doing the commentary too. I wasn't in the best condition when I did the commentary for whatever reason, not enough research or not enough time to do more research, and also there's always time constraints. There's always time constraints on doing this movie because there's a release schedule that we have to follow. So in hindsight, I wish I can redo that commentary. I mean, I think what I did was fine, but I think it could have been a little bit better.
Right.
But,
So for all you Naked Killer fans, what'd you run into Carrie here?
She was our last Hong Kong guest at the 2017 Hong Kong Film Festival, because she had a role in this film about vampire department or something, like vampire cleanup department.
Okay.
So, she had a small role in it.
Was that good? I didn't see.
It was all right. It was okay.
I was curious about that one.
It was actually not too bad. It was good.
Okay.
It was entertaining.
It was a horror comedy.
Yeah, comedy and it was good. And so she was invited to, it was kind of like the new U.S. premiere, I think. It was a closing night film festival, closing night film for the New York Asian Film Festival. So she was the guest. So she was invited.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's funny too, and because when I picked, we have to pick them up from the airport. So I picked her up at the airport.
Yeah.
And I guess she wasn't familiar with New York Asian Film Festival, right? And so on the trip from JFK to the hotel, she didn't say a single word. She didn't say a single word. And she, and me and we and other volunteers, we were in the van, right? We were in the limo van that were taking her to the hotel, and we could feel that she's checking us out. She's trying to find out exactly, are you guys for real, or are you guys some dumb, small dimpy shitty film festival, and stuff. So so she didn't say a word, and of course, I mean, we're not like I don't act like a fanboy. I would never like, oh, I love you, Naked Killer. I would never do.
Yeah.
I would never do any. I treat them just like any other ordinary person.
Right.
I say, you know what? Anytime like autographing pictures, that can wait. I'm not gonna show my appreciation for them at the airport or on our way to the hotel. So I just treat, I always treat them just like any other people that I pick up at the airport. So anyway, I could feel that she was sensing us out. She was trying to see, like, how we are, I guess.
Right.
And so we drop her off at the hotel. And I said, I'm going to come back later because I have to do some of the stuff first. And I'll come back later and make sure you're okay. And then about a couple hours later, I went back to her hotel room. She was glowing because we got her a suite, man. We got her a penthouse suite.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so she loved it so much. She said so when I went upstairs, knock on the door, she opened. She's like, "You gotta come in and look at this." She said, "I cannot believe this view. Look at this view." And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she's all smiles. She's all friendly. She now
Yeah.
we're not we're not bullshitting. We're not. I'm
Yeah.
sure she's been to other film festival where she probably wasn't treated as nicely or
Could
as
be.
yeah, it could
Probably.
be, you take a
Yeah.
chance, so to speak, because of budget or whatever reasons, right? So some of the treatment at film festival can not maybe is not that optimal. But I guess once she went to the hotel, went to the suite, and realized, like this is how we respected you.
Yeah.
All smiles, totally
Nice.
friendly, fantastic.
Speaking
Yeah.
of speaking of smiles,
Oh yeah, that's a story. Um,
Eric. I enjoy Eric.
yeah. So he was our lifetime achievement award recipient, also the same year, 2017.
Oh, all right.
And what happened was, I go and pick up the guests, Hong Kong guests at the airport, and I waited 4 hours for him. He got stuck at customs for 4 hours
Oh my
because it was
goodness.
summertime, it was peak season, so there's a huge line inside. And JFK being JFK, they were just all business, right? So they would
Yeah.
check, they would inspect you, what have you. So it was just taking lots of time. So his flight landed at like 2:10. Like 2:10 p.m. He didn't come out until like 5 minutes after 6. But we had to wait. We had no choice. We had to wait.
Right. Right.
And finally, like right before he came out, actually, someone from Cathay Pacific, because he was taking he was flying on Cathay Pacific. Some guy from Cathay Pacific actually come out and say, "Are you guys waiting for Mr. Zhang? He will be coming out soon. He's almost done." So and then he came out, all guilty because he knew that we were waiting for him. Yeah, because he already knew in advance that somebody, like he was told, he was told that staff or volunteers from the film festival will be waiting for him at the airport. Well, we had to, right? So anyway, so he knew that we were waiting for him for more than 4 hours. So he felt very guilty, and he was all, he was pretty quiet. He was pretty subdued on the way to the hotel, and then we had dinner with him and stuff, and then we were talking. There were other guests too, and we were talking. People were like asking, "Oh, Frank, what are you working on?" And I said, "I'm working on this martial arts documentary and stuff." And his eyes, again, his eyes just glow. He's like, I think he realized, oh, maybe I can do something to kind of make up for me waiting so long for him. Right. He said, "Are you?" I said, "I've been interviewing, people like Lo Mang, blah blah." Of course, he recognized all these names. He said, "You know what? I'll let you interview me for the documentary."
Yeah.
And so that was very nice of him. And so the next day, I just went to his hotel room and we interviewed him. Now, granted, he's really not from that period, right? Because he started his career, first as a scriptwriter for Cinema City, and then he was a stuntman and stuff. But by the time he started, he's already past Bruce Lee. Right. But it was still nice to have him because he worked with Lau Gao.
Yeah.
Right. So he was able to tell me stories about working with Lau Gao and stuff, and also how traditional Lau Gao was. And the funny thing was when we ate with Eric Zhang, he would hold the rice bowl like this. It's like I'm trying to see what like this is the rice bowl, right? Okay. So he would hold it like this. This is like the traditional way. Like if you eat a rice bowl, you will hold it like this, right? Like if you use like a Chinese eating a rice bowl will hold it like this. But the older generation, they hold it from the bottom like this. Okay, like when they're stopping, like when they pause, when they're eating, like let's say they were gonna take a pause while eating, they would like hold it like this. So that's like the old school way of holding a rice bowl, and he learned that from Lau Gao. Oh, that's how Lau Gao ate. The way he hold the rice bowl.
Yeah. Wow. And of course, we all know you've got more famous and popular from the Lucky Stars movies and all that stuff. And, but yeah, he's fun. I enjoy Eric. I did not expect his fight scene with Anthony Wong in was it Ip Man: The Final Fight or whatever. I was not expecting that fight scene to be like good.
Yeah, well, yeah,
legit.
yeah. Well, because he's a stuntman. He started out as a stuntman, so he do have some martial art background,
Yeah,
right?
they
And
went at it. That was great.
if you watch My Lucky Stars, there's a stunt that he did to jump over and he actually fell. I mentioned that in my audio commentary for My Lucky Stars that you know what, that's a great stunt. You don't notice it, you don't realize it. You think it's a gag, but that's a stunt.
Right. Nice. Let's keep it going here.
Yeah, Yun. So
MC
again, bump
Yun,
it in
man.
film art, interview him for the documentary. It wasn't the most ideal location. It was noisy and stuff. So
Right. At least you still got it though.
yeah,
I mean,
he of course
what's some
he
of
was
your
responsible.
favorite works from him?
Obviously, Dragon Inn. Yeah, I mean he was the producer on the new Dragon Inn with Donnie Yen. Of course, Stick in the Eagle Shadow,
Yeah.
and Drunken Master.
Drunken
I mean, he was
Master,
responsible for Jackie Chan's stardom, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Let's keep it going here. What else we got here? What other goodies? What other nuggets we got here? This was 1999, right?
This was 1999 when Simfer did the audio commentary for Righting Wrongs for the Tai Seng reads the Righting Wrongs,
Right.
and then we invited her. I went to LA, recorded her commentary. She was like totally professional, no notes whatsoever. She just talked through the whole thing. So if you guys still have that Righting Wrongs Laserdisc, that's a collector's item. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you got to keep it. That's a collector's item.
How cool is that?
So anyway, I mean, she just did it without notes. She just said, it's like she remembered everything. She just went through the commentary with one take. I think she might have just taken like one break or something. And then so anyway, afterwards we invited her to the Comic-Con panel where we show Millionaire Express. Right? We did a highlight clip of her, like the best fight scenes and stuff.
Yeah,
and we didn't tell the audience at that time that she's gonna be there. So we just show her stuff in Righting Wrongs, Millionaire Express. Like the moment we showed that shot from Millionaire Express when she turned her head towards Samuel, the whole crowd just roared. Wow. And then afterwards, Rick just said, "Would you like to meet her?" Okay. I mean, the reaction was crazy. And then when she walked out, standing ovation.
Oh,
for at least a minute or two. Yeah.
That's
so,
good.
So she was, yeah. And then she since came back to be our guest for the panel a couple more times.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
And I might also work with her again soon on future titles.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We'll keep that on the hush.
Mm-hmm.
You can let me know when we're off the air. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she's great, man. She's really good. All right.
So this was also for part of the documentary because people don't realize that during the 70s, Taiwan actually made tons of martial arts films.
Yeah.
You have all those films by Joseph Kuo, like Seven Grandmasters, 18 Bronzemen, World of Drunken Master, the Born Invincible, those titles, and you also have people,
chess boxing and all that.
Exactly, and then you also have people like Lee Zhou Nam, the director on the left. He did Hard Coup and the Vicious, Leg Fighters, and all that. With Wang Dao on the right, that's Wang Dao right there. Yeah, Wang Dao spoke perfect English. He went to Texas University. And Texas A&M. I think there's an A&M University. I think so. Anyway, so that's why he went. It's the same university that Troy Hart went. So he spoke perfect English.
Yeah.
So Wang Dao on the right there.
Hot, Cool, and the Vicious, Fatal Needles versus Fatal Fists.
Yeah, exactly.
Secret Rivals. Don't get me started, man. That is just some good classic
And then
stuff.
so he was wonderful. So they were great. Lee Zhou Nam, I actually again went back to the Taiwan the year after that to interview him a little bit more. We needed more material. So
Nice. The other person that you're waiting on, would it be Dorian Tan?
No, not Dorian Tan. No.
Okay.
No.
He's not going to be on the documentary?
No, we tried to find him. We couldn't find him.
You tried to find him. Okay.
He's supposed to be in LA, but we couldn't find him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
there were several people we wanted to interview that turned us down. Chen Wai-man turned us down. Okay. Chen Wai-man was in some of those Bruce Exploitation films.
Right. Right.
It was in Bruce Deadly Fingers, I think. Yeah. So, but he turned us down.
That's awesome. You got to meet these two legends here, though.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they're great.
Speaking of other two legends, Mars, man. Of course.
Mars and
Philip.
Oh, the late great Philip Cole.
Rest in peace.
Okay. Rest in peace.
Man, he was good.
Yeah, he was good. So Mars, they knew each other, of course. So we decided, why not we just interview them both together. Again, at first, Mars was kind of skeptical of who we are because obviously he was on the Jackie Chan stunt team.
Right.
By then, he was working in TV, so he was not working for Jackie Chan anymore. But he said he's always wary of fans using him as an excuse to get to Jackie Chan.
Oh,
so,
I
so yeah. So every time when he heard, when somebody offered, "Oh, can we interview you and stuff?" His concern is like, maybe they were trying to get him to tell him, "Oh, can you get us, hook us up with Jackie Chan and stuff." So
he just got tired. He got tired of it. He's like, "Look,
yeah,
man."
he got tired. Well, I mean, I didn't mention it. I didn't mention I didn't mention like Jackie Chan was not a must, but if we want to, we want to interview Jackie, what can we do? He said, you know what, it's virtually impossible now to interview Jackie for someone like independent producers, because he's basically a company is his manager now, So.
Right.
Yeah. But Mars was great. He gave us a ride back to, because this was in the new territories. It was kind of like near the root, like in the more inner rural district of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And after the interview, he actually gave me a ride back out to Kowloon, back out to the city. So that was nice of him. Because he knew, once he found out what we were here for and stuff, he became open up and stuff. He was very nice.
You guys once you realized you guys were legit.
Yeah, we were legit. Well, because when he came, he saw us interviewing Philip. And we have the lights, we have, and he saw a couple of Guai Lows with me, so he's with Guai Lo, he must be legit,
The hairy foreign devil.
Yeah, the hairy foreign devil, right? So these guys aren't playing, we all this setup and stuff. But yeah, Philip was nice. Philip never.
When did Mars become part of the Jackie Chan stunt team? Like
a long time ago. I think late 70s. I think
late 70s, right?
Yeah, late 70s.
Dragon Lord,
Young Master, I think maybe even Young.
Okay.
Well, he was in the End of the Dragon. If you spot him, he's in.
That's right.
Mars was in the End of the Dragon.
That's right. He was one of the guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome. Hey, imitate Shek Ken at the end, calling out the names.
Mm-hmm.
Do imitate Shek Ken, calling out the names.
Wang Fao, Chung Kai, Dada, go, kill him, Wang Cheng, Li Go, Fa Zai, Fa Zhao.
That was great. That was great when you did that on our
kill him.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. Oh man, but yeah, we're having fun here. Philip Ko, man. I mean, speaking of, we just talked about 8-diagram pole fighter.
Right. Well, and we never knew. I mean, we just knew he was sick. He was, he was ill. But we never knew what it was. I mean, we sensed it was cancer because when we met him, he said, "Oh, I just I'm just I did chemo a few weeks ago or something." So yeah, but it was good. He was all right.
He seemed happy.
He seemed happy, and he talked about. Legend, yeah. So only when he died, everybody found out that he had cancer. So
maybe he kept it a secret.
Yeah,
but, some people are like that,
Mm-hmm.
But he's a legend, though. He'll always be remembered fondly.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, are we going to get some shots like this for the documentary?
So this is yes. So, like I said, my business partner in Hong Kong, he used to work at Shaw. He saw his career at Shaw. So we. David, my co-producer, said, I really want to shoot some footage of Shaw. And so my business partner convinced Shaw to let us go there, just this area. This is right by the entrance, okay? So this is what's left. This basically is what's left of the old Shaw Brothers studio. This facade here.
Man, that's cool.
Okay. This was their original entrance.
Wow.
Right to the studio. And then behind it will be all the studio lots and all that stuff. So those are all gone. I mean, all gone in ruins and decay. So anyway, so what happened was we got there. We were told, okay, you can shoot for maybe 20 minutes, no more than 30 minutes, and you have to go. So what happened was while I was there, my co-producer and his cameraman sneaked into the back and just started shooting stuff. Whatever they saw, they just started shooting. I know. And then when they didn't come back after 20 minutes, we got really worried. My business partner got really worried because he would be in trouble,
Right.
And then so after another 15 minutes, they finally show up and then say, we gotta go. And the funny and then the funny thing was as we were leaving, Mona Fong, who was the head honcho of TVB, because Shaw was now TVB is now part of Shaw. So where the old building was, on the side of it is the new office building. And Mona Fong, she passed away now, but Mona Fong at that time, she was up there at her office. She saw us. She turned around and saw us, and she saw us leaving. So I guess, and then so what I found out from my business partner was, she called the security guard and asked, "Who are those people?"
Right.
and then my partner kind of got a little scolding, but everything turned out all right.
Everything was okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It was like a warning, like don't do that.
Oh no, that's not a warning. You can never do that again. No warning. It's just like right? But no, I mean, obviously, they couldn't resist, right? I mean, they just
I mean,
just
come
had
on.
to. I just told them, at that time I told them, just shoot footage around this old building, this office building and stuff. Yeah. They just went all the way back.
Man,
they found like they found canisters, film canisters, like the abandoned places, feel like there's this abandoned screening room and that stuff, and they were still there. They're still there.
Did you hear of any Shaw Brothers films getting lost?
I
know back in the early days, some like they said for the old Doctor Who, for example, episodes. There's lost episodes because either the films got burned or dissolved, or they just were like, well, no one's going to watch these again.
Well, maybe
we air the episodes and then we move on.
Right, maybe, but I think they did a good job preserving whatever they have, because you have to remember, Shaw really started their empire in Malaysia and Singapore. Yeah. And that's where they really built their fortunes, right? And then they came to Hong Kong and they started doing all these movies. I went to Malaysia 2 years ago, and I went by one of the old Shaw Brother theaters. Just have the Shaw logo on there. So they started way back in Malaysia. So and they came from Run Shaw came from this elite rich family. So obviously they have some money. So I think they did a really good job preserving their movies, remastering them. You keep in mind, they remastered them more than 20 years ago when they first came out on the Region 3 DVDs. They still look good. Of course, the Blu-rays will look much better.
The Celestial Pictures, right?
Yeah, Celestial Pictures. They actually started.
I might actually still have somewhere the newspaper clipping about that news that those Shaw Brothers movies are going to be remastered.
Exactly.
I might have that still somewhere. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe,
They announced.
Maybe I can scan and send you that.
Right. Then, yes, please. They announced that we're going to start this company called Celestial, and the main purpose is to remaster these films. And right off the bat, they start doing what I think 10 titles a week, and then at the end they have all these titles.
Yeah,
but
now they're on Amazon. I mean, not Amazon. They're on Netflix right now. It's
Amazon.
Come a long way.
Yeah, you name it. But my understanding is those DVD did not sell well at all. At least not locally.
The early Celestial.
All those Region 3 ones, they didn't sell well at all. So they were really, I think they lost quite a bit of money. I mean, I'm just guessing. But my understanding, because they're Region 3, so like if you're in the US, you couldn't watch them. You have to have a multi-region player. So that kind of limited.
I gave in. I said I need an all-region DVD player, man.
It's a no-brainer nowadays.
Yeah. But you know what? This last shot is the perfect way to go ahead and just end this wonderful interview. That's right. The legend himself, Frank. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phat Samurai. Thank you for having me.
You can come back. Like I said, it's your second home, man. Come back at any time. Plug something, advertise something, or you just want to talk movies. Let me know, because I know.
And I just want.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, I've said this before in my commentary for Eureka and 80 Film. It's like this is like a second career for me in terms of Hong Kong movies, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
I left Tai Seng 13 years ago, and never thought I would go back to doing this. And then when like a year after I left Tai Seng, when there are no more titles for me to do, at Tai Seng. When I didn't go to Comic-Con for a few years, and I felt kind of sad too. Like, maybe this is it. No more involvement. But then things keep coming back. Further at the New York Asian Film Festivals.
Yeah.
And we have the Comic-Con, and we come back with Comic-Con panels, and then now we have Eureka and Film. So I'm cherishing this. I'm so glad people enjoying my commentaries, and I guarantee I try to do my best on each and every single one of them, and I hope you enjoy all of them. I just hope I'll keep doing them until we run out of titles.
Forever.
Forever and ever. Yeah.
But yeah, we love you, man. I mean, it's an honor to have you here, and it's an honor to have you every week for Versus, for crying out loud. But I was like, we got to do something. We got to get Frank alone and have him tell his stories, tell his tale of just so many years of dedication and hard work, and really doing your thing, my friend, for the fans, so we can enjoy it. So make sure you buy those 88 film Blu-rays, buy those Eurekas. That's right. Hey, dig out those old Tai Sengs for fun.
Buy a multi-region player, please.
Yeah. It's not difficult. If Samurai can get it off Amazon.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's not expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely keep supporting Frank. That's right. And support your boy, Samurai Guy. If you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this video. Spread the word of awesomeness of Frank. That's right. Share the video. He is the man. He is awesome. And he also is a good dancer. Perfect way to end it right there. This is what happens when you come on the Samurai Show, man. I'm just a knucklehead.
Yeah, you go.
All right. But yeah, man, like I said, you're always welcome to come back anytime, every week.
Yeah. And guys, please, keep buying these titles. If you keep buying these titles from Eureka 88 Film, I guarantee you there will be more classic Hong Kong movies coming your way. This is the only way if you want more movies like this, you have to keep buying them, please.
That's right. And until next time, my friend. Don't go anywhere, Frank. Take care, guys. Thanks. Oh, actually, tomorrow we have some more guests here at 7 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So if you want to stop by and hang out again with the Samurai, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Did you have one more?
Are you doing Versus tomorrow, though?
Oh, my God. What day is it? What year is it?
Wednesday.
It's tomorrow, like the Jumanji meme with the old Robin Williams. What year is it? Tomorrow is Versus. So horror fans, show up. Halloween versus Nightmare on Elm Street tomorrow. Yeah. You don't want to miss that. That's 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then Friday at 7 p.m. is the guest. Sorry about that. All right. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, PhatSamurai. Take care.